I booked this hotel. It was like 100 and some, like 110 or something like that. Overpriced for this fucking dump.
Do you have anything? Or?
They build a new building. Is it like all like that fancy Notre Dame, whatever how you say that? That's a debate. What is it? Notre Dame or Notre Dame? Dude, we pulled in, and it's the kind where you drive up to your room, basically.
Okay.
You know, you drive up. I'm like, oh, shit.
So, you know, you had to scoot across like a whole room, and then it dropped down, and then it led into like their more basement proper. So we had to do that, you know, like passing our like camera gear between each other. You know, and it's hot. This was the summer.
Like that. Because you're like trying to like visualize it in your head.
Even if you know the answer, you're still not sure though.
Yeah, you just,
All like dirt, cobweb, everything. Probably smelled like piss because didn't they have like 1 million dogs in that house?
They did.
Ooh.
They did.
I go in, you know, fucking Habib's there, and I fucking go up and get our room key and shit. So
You don't ever plan on leaving this continent.
don't be beating up the microphone.
A cartoon.
It'd be like a cartoon where your legs are just. Take our stuff. We could walk over and walk in, and first thing, it's the wrong kind of room.
And
You
very
spotlights on you, dude.
Hey. Go to the. So I went to the post office and seen some
What'd you
post
do next?
offices.
Then what'd you do?
Did you shower before you went?
I went to. Yeah. I showered.
Approximately what point of the day was this?
Okay, it's got one bed. It's supposed to have 2 beds.
And I think there was at one point I was like, you know what, dude? But I mean, if you're cool, I'm cool. Dick's will go eventually.
Yeah.
Probably be one of the last ones because it's a pretty popular place.
Yeah, dicks get blown out.
Dick's going down.
Dick's getting
Dicks
blown
down.
Dick down.
Dick down, man. Don't look down. Who looks down when you're lying?
It's like the code for when
You're
you like
lying.
see somebody and you kind of give them like a, you know, if you know them, you're kind of like heads up. If you don't know them, you just.
Nah. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Sweet. Let's talk, guys. Let's talk. What's new? What's going on?
Same old stuff. Trying to work to get out there, I guess, again, but you know, the same shit, different day. Working more, planning ahead. I mean, we got some big stuff that you know we're trying to push for this year. Working at passports, we're not really, you know, sharing where that is yet. So hopefully soon we can relay that to the public. You know, come up with some cool stuff. You have anything or?
No, yeah, I was telling Eric today, I was like, it feels like it's like come full circle. You guys were on like our second ever podcast, and at the time you guys weren't, you know, you said you weren't really going out as much then, but you know, anything since then, or still kind of been laying low?
It's
just kind of
really, I don't even know if maybe like once since then, even if we've gone out. But I think finally, hopefully this year, you know, if things cool down again, we're looking to get out some more and
But I
get back
mean,
in.
you know, you guys like what's left for you here around here that you can just kind of
around
go
here.
out and hit, you know,
Not
real quick. Like,
much.
well, we can, you know,
I mean, you know, something always pops up, but it's, you know, there's not much, you know, the only area we have never been is kind of like up in there, you know, like or I've been in the Thumb, you haven't, but like this area, and there's like 2 things I even know of up there. So it's like,
right. Because how long again to remind everybody that's like going to be listening or watching this, like, you know, so like who you guys are, how long you guys have been, you know, kind of doing this sort of thing.
yeah, so we're Ruin Road. I think we've been doing exploring for about, I started 4 years ago, I think now, 3 or 4. So we do our bi-monthly videos we put out where we put some, you know, try to tell the history behind the place, then what it looks like now. We have a book series, and then since we talked last time, the Ghosts and Legends on Amazon Prime has finally come out.
Yeah.
So
yes. Yeah,
yeah.
I did see that.
Well, yeah, we're thinking about a season 2 for that, obviously though, because I want to focus on like trying to get like more interviews and like meeting up with people. So that's like really can't start until like COVID's done. So it's kind of when that'll come out. I don't know. It depends on.
That's kind of like when me and you started. I'm like, what a perfect time during COVID.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Going back to what you had said about how you've been basically everywhere in Michigan, I was telling Jimmy the other day how when we first started and we were looking for locations and doing our research, your guys' name was popping up on every single photo.
I know,
Photo,
right?
courtesy of Ruin Road, courtesy of Ruin Road. Everything we found was all you guys. Your stamp is like everywhere out there right now.
Yeah.
That's good.
I was
Yeah.
shocked to hear that.
And you can attest to it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like
We
everything we'd
even-
look up, we're like, okay, let's look up. And then, you might type it into like YouTube just to see. And then, Ruin Road. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah,
These guys have been everywhere. I'm like, where are these guys from? I'm like, they're from Michigan, obviously.
Yep.
But where around here? That's when we found out. I'm like, dude, they're like kind of right by here. What the fuck? See if they'll come on the podcast. What the hell?
Yeah, the first video we seen of you guys was the one at the Reed City Airport.
Okay.
That was one of the first locations we found. It was that one, and Rosie's Diner was like one of the
Yeah.
2 first locations we thought about hitting. So when we found that on there and we watched that, so
That was funny. It was always Ruin Road everywhere. We got some Ruin Road stickers now.
Yep, some Ruin
Yeah.
Road stickers there.
I
Well,
like
one day
merch.
we'll get around
I
to
like
actually
merch.
doing shirts and stuff. We
Sweet,
talk
thank
about it, but
put one in the car.
Do a big merch run. I recommend just buying all your shirts wholesale. That's what I did when I was in a band.
I just have a question about your logo too. What was the inspiration behind that?
Reminds me
You
of
know-
a road sign.
yeah, it's actually what it
Railroad.
is, an old railroad sign, like before the one, like before the X. This was kind of like their style, and so
That was the style here?
yeah, and I don't think they had the R's, but those lines were like taken exactly
cool.
from one. And so the guy who created actually, Garrett, was the guy that started Ruin Road with me. He made the logo, and we kind of like tweaked it, and like we came up with a name too. I don't remember, to be honest, how we came up with Ruin Road. It was just one, like we were suggesting a lot of stuff like plays with our names and the generic stuff, and somehow Ruin Road got chosen.
Right. Yeah. No, it's cool. It rolls off the tongue.
And then we're gonna open a brewery in an abandoned building, and we're gonna call it Bruin Road.
Ruin Road. Yeah. What kind of beers are you gonna sell there?
Well, they're gonna be a little dirty,
have a
a
bunch
little
of
dusty. There's always, the Bill Finan stout that you can
Bill
get, and it's definitely a downer. And so, just to let you know, it's
It'll
probably one that you
roughly
don't
keep
want
you
to
so-
down your level.
Well,
It's-
you just mentioned
It's
that.
heavy.
You just mentioned, what's his name? Bill Finan.
Bill Finan.
So what's the story with this guy? I only know a limited amount of stuff because again, I really got into this,
yeah, I mean,
this past year or so.
you guys, have you heard of like Seth Lawless, or do you know who that is?
I've not heard of him before.
Good,
No.
don't. Ever.
Don't ever.
I'm gonna Google him as soon as this
Yeah.
is over with.
Oh,
But we can explain to like anybody else that may be listening to this too. Again, it's
Yeah.
not just us here. It's like
Mm.
everybody might like you see this name. Wonder
Right.
What's the story
Yeah,
behind
so
this?
he's kind of known in the Urbex community, Bill, as just being always sad, just like one of those characters that, he's going to shit on your day. Like you could be like, oh, my wife just had a baby, and he's going to sad face it and just say, don't do it, stuff like that. And then, he'll just like go out of his way to just like make people feel like sorry for him. And he's like, I'm 32. I live with my parents during COVID. They won't let me out, and I can't explore till like 2023 and stuff like that. And just-
2023?
He's like, will you wait for me then, or do a virtual explore somewhere? And I probably can't go to Detroit because everything out there is above my level. He just drops all that kind of stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
and I mean
Like,
that's
very memeable.
yeah. 'Cause he's been around for a very long time, and because he started before COVID, he obviously didn't have his quarantine
is he?
gag, but he
He's 32.
he
32?
he wants he
like-
thinks all buildings should be blown out and like completely torn down before he'll explore them, and he thinks like he doesn't believe in keeping your locations to yourselves. He thinks everybody should have them. He has his big map, which is every spot that if you go to like UER resource is the one where you'll see those are the ones on his level. So he has all those, and he always shares his map. He goes around between like all the Facebook groups and stuff.
But they do make some good memes of him online and stuff. And there's this one where they did it like, you know how they do like the Nike quotes?
Yeah.
They did it like just, they zoomed in on his face and then they just said, do something even if it means exploring nothing.
Oh yeah, that's the one I seen that one because I bring it up too because I didn't get into it with him, but I was involved in that little comment stream with him, and he was trying to say a location that was definite, and I knew because I had been there. Like it's not, you're wrong. You're just dead wrong, and he's like, no.
Kansas or something.
So I went to I started looking into him a little bit. I seen that.
Yep.
Anybody listening, you have to look it up. How do you spell this guy's name again?
What's that? Seth
spell
Wallace
DICK Bill. Seth?
Seth.
Yeah, what's the difference between those two guys?
Well, they're both enemies of Urbex.
Well, Seth was more successful like back in the day, wasn't he? With, like,
successful in air quotes.
Yeah.
He talks himself up a lot, and he'll go after like people like that try to like talk bad about him. And he because he was on the news once, like, so ABC News special with Seth Lawless, and he like buys his subscribers. The Urbex Memester Facebook page does a lot of like exposing them, like where they see like when Twitter like purges their fake accounts, and you can like plug in, see Seth's like up here, and then all of a sudden subscribers and stuff, and they like he makes all sorts of like fake accounts that like they prove that like we're him,
Really?
and like says it's like, oh, this I love Seth, and stuff like that. So he's crazy, dude. He's got a couple of books out, like he was the first person to do malls and all that sort of stuff. So
Oh yeah, the very first I did it. Mine's bigger.
yeah,
This is
that's
better.
him exactly.
Oh, you did this? Well, check this out.
Mm-hmm.
So
You
that
know,
would make Bill and Seth basically the grandfathers of Urbex. Then.
They kind of are, I
what
think.
shit grandfathers we
Yeah.
have.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't a monarchy anymore. Just get the fuck out of here. Seriously, man. Like, I agree to a certain point. Like, we've had conversations like, if you go someplace and it's just graffiti everywhere, like maybe it's it's not a place familiar to you, but it seems like everybody around there knows about this place. Like, yeah, sure. Like, it's right over here. I don't care. But
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't understand how much work and research goes into finding some of the locations. And
Yeah.
like you said, some of them are blown out. Everybody knows about them. No problem telling people. But then you have the ones where, you're researching for them, looking for them for days, and nobody's really been there, and you don't want everybody to know about them places. It's kind of special to you. So
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel the same way. So it's, I don't know, like it's such a hot topic all the time.
Yeah.
It really is. You want to talk about like hot topics in Urbex? Should you release the location or should you not?
just the other day on one of the groups that we're in, I posted a picture of a place and it got a lot of hits, and people were really curious. And one guy was like, "I don't see why you don't post a location. People are going to find out sooner or later." And the way I look at that is basically, why tell them the location, and why not have it preserved for as long as possible,
Right.
Right.
so people can actually enjoy it.
Exactly.
And I don't understand why somebody would just, if you're actually enjoy Urbex for what it is, then you wouldn't be just giving locations to anybody.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, and that's how you get stuff like, arson and everything, or, people are lighting shit up in these buildings. I mean, Cadillac stamping and,
Just burned.
just got burnt up, and that's been, one of the staples that a lot of people hit out there and everything. So,
Or
Yeah,
it's like Cooley High School.
Oh, yeah,
like
with
that.
the-
they were
yeah,
they were
auditorium.
actively planning to renovate it, fix it all up, and then somebody went in there and torched it, and then they gave up all their plans, and so it's now just it's each day it gets worse and worse. So it's
Yeah, that's again, yeah. Everybody knows about that place. Everybody goes there. It's sad what happened to that auditorium. Because that would be. I mean, you think about it from an investor's standpoint. Like, you're looking at this building, you're like, look, this auditorium is in an amazing shape. The building is not so bad. We could actually probably do this. And then that happens.
Yep.
I'm out.
Yep,
Yep.
exactly.
All that architecture, the stage, the roof is out. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah,
No, sit to
they don't
rot.
make buildings like that anymore with like
No.
the architecture like that.
The
and
modern,
designs.
sleek,
Yeah,
smooth.
everything's blocky and it's all bricks and
Yeah.
nothing fancy.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
Same thing with the churches. Like you see these cathedrals and stuff, that are all abandoned, but you don't see churches being built like that nowadays.
No.
At all.
No. I mean, but, I don't know. Do they still build buildings like that over in like Europe and stuff? Like when they build a new building, is it like all like
Yeah.
that fancy Notre Dame, whatever how you say that? That's a debate. What is it? Notre Dame or Notre Dame? Like,
Ask Bill.
ask Bill. Bill.
It's more tomatoes.
Yeah. Life sucks. Yeah. I don't know. I really like the architecture and buildings.
Yeah.
So if I'm that adds like we've left buildings before. Well, one, specifically that hospital we went to in Detroit. It's like southeast or
Yep.
Like the freaking outside of it looks freaking
yeah, I know what you're talking
awesome.
about.
Like it looks really cool. Again, it's kind of modern.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess.
like a,
very
yeah.
modern, like almost futuristic. When you look at it, it's almost spaceship like. You're kind of like, what the hell is that thing? And you get inside, and there was nothing there.
Nothing.
Yeah.
We went,
Yep.
it was gutted, but it's like, well, I mean, the building was cool as hell. Got some sick drone shots and
It was quite the adventure, looking out that window and seeing a cop facing directly at us, and we sat there for like an hour thinking, how are we going to go? He wasn't even paying attention to us the whole time.
yeah, the whole time it ended up being, but it sure as hell seemed like he was watching us. We could record him through the little circle windows. Like I zoomed way in on him. I could like basically see him sitting in his seat.
I'd say, while you do a lot of Urbex, you become pretty good at being an investigator and stuff as well.
Oh, yeah.
We've had
Yeah.
a few times where we just kind of sat in the bushes and just, peeped.
Yeah, just
Watched when we were at Riverside.
That's the wrong
remember?
word. We weren't just peeping.
Riverside. we were narrowing down the
Oh
search.
yeah, dude, that was a
Yeah.
spec ops mission there.
We were literally zooming in on his shoes, like what kind of shoes is he wearing? Are those shoes that somebody who's doing maintenance on a building would wear?
Yeah,
Just making
dude.
sure whatever
He was,
opening
like,
we could find, we could
shadowboxing.
get in.
He was like shadow boxing the air. This dude, like, so
I remember you were telling this story. Yeah.
shadow boxing. That was hilarious, dude. Hilarious. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, man, what the hell? This guy can't be security. What is he doing? Does he think nobody's watching him?
What were they actually doing there, do you think, though? Because it didn't seem like it was rounds or something.
Dude.
They would
No,
just,
dude.
you know.
He was waiting for that one. He was waiting for that one dude to get there that ended up pulling up a trailer and shit.
camping out for the night.
Oh,
Yeah, they had like round security. Unless like I have no idea what else it could have been. He was there. He was driving around inside it with his car.
We should have
Little
just
fucking
waited
stupid
till-
light on it.
Should have just waited till he got inside of his camper and then went inside there.
I mean, he could have.
I'd be willing to
guess.
go back there.
I don't know. That's some bullshit, dude. That was some bullshit.
Yeah, it was pretty disappointing, but it was still a fun trip out there.
Yeah. Where's the line on, I'm just here to look, or I'm breaking into this bitch?
I never,
That's a debate too. That's a debate too.
You guys are going into these buildings. It's not yours. You just call the owner. Investigate.
people always say that to me about like trespassing and breaking and entering and
Trespassing,
stuff.
yeah.
And I'm always like, well, I look at it this way. I'm trespassing, but I've never broken into the building. The
Right.
building's
That's-
open. I'm going
that's-
inside
yeah.
it. If it's not, I'm not going in it. Plain
Exactly.
and
Right.
simple. So
we're kind of like those people. If we do see something really sweet, we end up, taking like the full MacGyver way, where it's like, all right, I gotta climb over this fence, and then I gotta jump through this like broken window, and then if we went like one like one more wall over, we would have seen that there's just a door open that we could have got through.
That has
easy
happened
way.
multiple
And
times.
we've done that so much. It's like, oh, we got to like put a rope over here and climb down it to get into that school through like the grading. Or, you know.
No, that
there's a
one.
door.
That one.
Well,
Was
that
the
one
only
we
way.
had
There are
to,
some,
but,
so
like,
it doesn't always not pay
a
off.
similar scenario.
Yeah.
Though. Yeah.
What was your probably your most difficult entrance into a location?
Oh, that was
Oh,
New
ooh,
York.
that's a-
Yeah, I was
That's
about
a
to say. I was
good-
like, it's
That
either
was the
between the
nastiest.
school or the New York. So it's pretty well known spot. It was a mansion in Long Island, and so it was like like frozen in time, almost Victorian setting type deal. Yeah. So I had found it, and like so I was like, oh, we gotta go now. We gotta go. So we had a trip. I completely replanned it. We went there, and we had hit one or two things on the day before on our trip over. Nothing like too high level. And so I was like, then that day was gonna be like our last stop. So we had to try to hit a few spots that were really cool. On the way, we struck out at those. So we made it to this mansion, and we got there, and it was like sealed up tightly, and we found a way under like old, like the old like cellar windows. There's just like two panes, that would flap up. I found one of those that was loose, and it led into a muddy crawl space.
Really?
And so I was like, okay, Jimmy, what do you want to do? And he was like, we came this way. You want to see it? Let's do
Yeah.
it. So you're like commando crawling almost across this muddy cement thing, and to make it worse, though, it had plastic like sheeting down, which could have caught like condensation. So it was all like mud, and it
water,
was
mud.
not just mud because it was all
No.
watery.
Yeah.
So, you had to scoot across like a whole room, and then it dropped down, and then it led into like their more basement proper. So we had to do that, like passing our like camera gear between each other. And it's hot. This was the summer.
Yeah.
So we got out, we were sweaty
wet.
as hell,
Yeah.
but this place was like totally grimy. Like obviously like those were older photos. And so it was still really cool, and it's definitely an upcoming video, but like it was not as pristine as it was.
You
in
got video
photos.
of you like crawling through the crawl space.
I didn't get any video of that, I don't think. And yeah, so
it's one of
'cause,
those things though you're just not thinking of at the time. You're
yeah,
just
I
like,
was
"All right,
just
let's
like,
get
we
in,
gotta
let's
go.
get in."
I didn't want to, because my hands were all muddy. I did, we
Yeah.
had some wipes that we wiped off, and we went through the whole building, and then we were trying to find like if there was anything from the inside that you could like unlock to walk out versus down there.
Right.
And Jimmy was trying to find.
This place was like full of like clothes and just furniture, everything. They had like a little like safe in their library and stuff like that, like in a bookcase. That was really cool. And then we're like, okay, they got all this like household stuff. Don't you think the husband would have had like a screwdriver set or a wrench set or something? Because when we were looking, the front door was just held by a piece of plywood,
Right.
basically, and like they did like the bolt and stuff in. I was like, dude, all we gotta do is like unscrew this somehow. And I was like, look for like little sharp, tiny objects we could fit in there, and nothing worked. I was like, oh. We were sweating so hard standing in that little nook. We're like, do we really got to go back through that dirt? And so guess what we
You're gonna
did?
think at
You
that
just
point,
know. Yeah, you're
anyway.
just like,
So there were
any other
So
way.
there were those two options. So did we find the tool through this whole house? No, there's nothing. So we had to go back down into
Throw
that
it
nasty,
again.
dirty hole and come out of it just nasty. Like we were like all like dirt, cobweb, everything.
It was-
Probably smelled like piss because didn't they have like 1 million dogs in that house?
They did.
Ooh.
They did. And
Ooh.
so we get out. We're just like getting rained on. We're like, dude, okay, let's
It
get
was,
out
it
of
was
here.
a nice light little mist.
It
coming
wasn't-
back.
yeah.
Well, I would have been thankful for the.
It was
Yeah.
still hot
rain,
though,
like-
so that was the grimiest we've ever been.
Oh.
And then we had to dodge horse crap because like the neighbors next door had horses on that
Oh,
walkway.
really?
And
Okay.
we were trying to be so quiet and everything. And
So what state was this in?
New York.
Oh, this was
Yep.
the New York
This
one.
was the
okay.
New York one.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Dude,
but yeah,
that's
it's
cool.
crazy.
Yeah, it's a hell of a drive out there too.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I went out there the one time, went up to see the Niagara Falls and stuff. You guys been there?
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
sure since you went to New York, you gotta go might as well. You're that close. Although, I guess the New York State is pretty big, though.
Yeah, depending on where you're going in New York. We were up through the Catskills though on our trip, which I definitely would love to get back out there.
I'm trying to think like how big New York actually is, the state. Whenever you say New York, you always just automatically think like
it's a
Times
city,
Square.
right?
Yeah.
And
what I
that's
always
like
think,
always
too.
like it's way by the water, dude. It's like
It's in the
way
very
hell
far
over there.
tip.
Yeah, there's actually
Yeah.
mountains in New York too,
Yeah.
isn't there?
Yeah.
Multiple
Yeah.
mountain ranges.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
much.
That's part of the tip of the Appalachian or something.
Right. Yeah, it does. There's one's
Yeah.
right all the way up there. Dude. Yeah, it's crazy when you think about it. You're like, oh shit, how big actually is it?
I feel like
I wonder if it's bigger. Is it bigger than Michigan or is it about as big? No, Michigan, the Lower Peninsula.
It's probably maybe a
Is it
little
like a
larger than the
little
Lower
A little
Peninsula.
larger, yeah. Not with the whole UP.
I feel like if you tell someone you're going to New York and you don't go to Manhattan and New York City, you didn't really go to New York yet. That's how I feel about it.
Right. You guys been to Canada? Like, you been exploring in Canada at all?
I've done some. He hasn't. He
Oh, you
just
have?
finally got his passport because I've been nagging at him for a few years because there's a lot of cool stuff in Canada.
Well, all you need is like the
card,
real
yeah.
ID now. Is that what it's
Yeah.
called?
Yeah, you can get that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I had a passport, so and
Right.
it's like the passport at least enables you to go everywhere, but
Right.
the real ID works if you don't ever plan on leaving this
Right.
continent.
Don't we beating up the microphone?
Just turn my head away.
It's like, dang. Bam. Yeah. I'm kind of doing that, though, myself, like metaphorically, like, bam, because when I went the last time, what was it? 4/16? No. Must have been 18, I think, when I got my license again, renewed. And they asked me if I wanted it because it was going to become mandatory anyways. And I was like, no.
What's the
No, I don't
process for
want it.
that, for getting your passport to Canada?
Oh, you can just go to Secretary of State. You just get the real ID. It's like an enhanced ID, basically.
It's not. It didn't used to be like that though, right?
No.
It used to
Right,
be
that
more
was just-
process.
You had to have a passport, right? Before?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Is that something I can just go right now and work on getting my passport through Canada, or do I actually have to go to the Secretary of State and talk to somebody there?
Well,
I don't know.
you know it all. You just
yeah,
did
you
it.
just did it.
Yeah,
I mean, it kind of
you-
varies.
Spotlight's
So,
on you, dude.
hey,
Hey,
hey, go to the. So I went to the post office and was seeing some
What'd you
post
do next?
offices.
Then what'd you do?
Did you shower before you went to the
I
post
went
office?
to yeah.
Then-
I showered.
What approximately what point of the day was this? Down to the minute.
What did you eat? before
Well,
you left?
I missed
Did you
your
poop or no
mother's
poop?
call, and I went. And so basically, if you want to get like the card or something, like you go on like, are you talk? So like, it's different if you're like renewing or getting a brand new. So like, if you're doing brand new, you still gotta do like one of these like applications. It's like a DS11 or something, whatever they call it. And then
That's that form online.
yeah, yep. And then
All
turn
right,
that.
so you can
in
start it
and-
online, Eric.
Yep.
I'll help you out there.
And then
next year, so I'll have to renew my
Is it-
license next year.
yep.
Oh, is next year your
Yeah,
year?
2022.
Let's see.
You gotta take a picture of myself with even less hair.
Well, I guess we still got like a whole goddamn year. But, hey.
Were we gonna
2021.
make it through this year though?
2021. Yeah. Are we going
It's
to make
getting
it, guys?
I don't know. Man.
I am excited because there's going to be more buildings to explore.
I've been thinking about that too with the way retail's going. Everybody's buying stuff online,
Oh,
clothes and all that.
shit.
Malls will be closing
Oh
down.
yeah, there's gonna be
Yeah.
probably the few
Even
malls that are
more.
still there. There's a lot that are probably gonna be
The
done.
Lakes Mall out in Muskegon. I'm sure that's gonna go soon.
Oh,
That one, yeah. That's
the mall here has got to be like basically a dead mall. I mean, there's stores kind of
I think half of it's a college now. I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they are renovating that.
Here in Holland.
Yeah.
I didn't know
But
they had a mall
before,
here.
dude, yeah, it did. It was West Shore Mall.
Oh,
Yeah, it's on your way into town, coming off 31.
okay.
Yeah. But Jesus. All right, Eric. No, I did it.
That's the second time doing it.
Hey, I mean, I remember going to it as a kid. Oh yeah, I did. It is the second
beer
time.
out of his hand.
But that was before recording.
Yeah.
Thanks.
called you out.
But I remember going to it as a kid. I mean, well, when we were all kids, I mean, malls were still kind of the thing to do. KB toys.
Heck yeah, dude.
KB toys.
Do you guys ever remember the old Muskegon Mall? Were you ever?
I never went
I-
up to
really?
that.
When I was a
You
kid,
probably-
I remember walking in there, but I don't remember anything other than that.
Like I vaguely
just like
remember
walking around
it.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
When I look at the pictures of it online, I can kind of vaguely remember like what it looked like.
Right.
But other than that, I have no memory of it. Any of the stores that were there or anything. So
Yeah.
I just remember KB Toys. Yeah, that's all I wanted to go in, man. I was a kid. It's like, yeah, dude, everything in there, man.
But I mean, you can easily see like, yeah, that mall's been failing. Lakes Mall, you know, because I mean, dude, you're taking out all these bigger stores and you're putting in what, jammies to jeans. It's like a kid's clothes garage sale there. Like, you know, what else you got? You know, and it's like, you know, you're taking out some like these bigger stores too. So I mean, it's making it less appealing during like Christmas season and all that stuff. So you don't really have much, but grannies walking
traffic.
end to end. Yeah.
yeah, no
Yeah.
Jason
So-
Penney, Sears.
Yeah.
I'm sure Dick's will go
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah,
Probably be one of the last ones because that's still a pretty popular place.
yeah. Dicks get blown out.
Dick's going down.
Dick's getting
Dicks
blown
down.
Dick down.
Dick down, man. Dick down. It's gone. Yeah, but yeah, Sears going under too. I remember I went to Sears for my permit for driving school. It was in a Sears. I don't know if Sears did it, probably not, but it was in a Sears. We had to go there. Yep.
How many years ago was that?
Crazy.
No, that was in on the other side of the state, not when I lived over here. So I don't know. Maybe it was different, but how many years ago?
I'm just kind of trying to say that.
I
old.
got my permit late. I didn't get it right away when I could have. I think I was like 17 when I got it. So 13 years ago. Dang. I can do math, man. I can do math. If I did it,
And I'm
I
older.
could still do it. Put me on the spot. Math. 300 times 10. What is it?
3,000.
Hasn't-
Now I seem like I'm smart at math, and I'm probably the worst one
It's
here.
when you add that
Yeah.
zero.
Give me another one real quick.
Huh?
Give me another one real quick.
You got your phone?
You don't want to tell me to put my phone down.
Oh, he keeps looking down like, give me another one. No, this is how I think.
Yeah, he's like Rain Man.
Yeah. Most people think like that because you're like trying to like visualize it in your head.
Even if you know
Yeah.
the answer, you're still not sure though.
Yeah, you just everybody does that. You look up, don't look down. Who looks down when you're lying?
It's like the code for when
You're
you like
lying.
see somebody and you kind of give them like a, you know, if you know them, you're kind of like heads up.
Just
up.
nod.
If you don't know them, you just
Nah, yeah,
Nice
it
to see
is.
you.
It's true. It's weird, isn't
what's
it?
up?
It's weird how natural that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You
then
don't
somebody
even think
points it
about
out. Somebody points it out. You're like, no shit. So when I went to work, when that was pointed out, I'm like, oh fuck, it's true. It's true. Just like when we were watching one of the videos that we did, and then we found out. I'm gonna bring this up because I found out the reason why. So I walk with my feet like way out. Like I
Oh,
got,
that's me too.
your feet are way out,
Uh-huh.
right? Like when they would have like the snowboarding games, it'd be like standard or goofy. I'd always pick goofy, right? But it was never like this bad. Like it's pretty bad. Like they're far out. I'm like, what the hell? So then now, like especially at work, like I'll be really conscious of it. I'm like trying to straighten my
Yep.
feet out.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
like, you have this struggle inside your head all day. You're trying to walk with your feet straight.
Yep.
And what I figured out, at least for my case, is because when I'm trying to walk with my feet straight, because I'm always pushing a cart, like the janitor's cart, I'm pushing, or a brute trash can, or when I was carpet extracting and stuff, or running a swing machine, I always have something that's like directly in front of me
Right.
that I'm pushing, and I can't do it with my feet straight. So I have to have them kind of like out a little bit in order to walk.
It's like the shopping cart at the store.
Yeah.
If you're a tall person, you're always kicking your shins.
Yeah,
out.
you-
yeah,
yeah.
that's me.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm always walking.
So then you kind of adjust. So imagine if you were like pushing that shopping cart for like 8 to 10 hours, 5 days a week all the time.
Yeah.
You'd eventually just develop this. You just walk like that anyways.
What happens when you run really fast with long strides though? Like,
I
do they
don't
just get
know, you
further
just-
further apart?
You just end up
You're
doing the
basically doing the
splits.
splits.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you just wow. It'd be like a
Running like a
cartoon.
clown.
It'd be like a cartoon where your legs are just behind you.
rotating
Yeah.
like propellers.
Yeah, that's right. 2 Kyles over here, man. What the hell?
Yeah.
Both got fucking douched out feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Well, are you in any or Audi, Jimmy?
What the hell are we talking about here? You talking about belly buttons now?
Are we?
Okay.
Yeah. Any is a belly button. My Audi. Well,
Howdy.
All
You
10
own
of
an
my
Audi?
toes.
What kind?
my fingers.
Oh.
And
All
What?
appendages.
my nose is an Audi.
Talking about your feet.
Yeah, so you standard
My
or goofy?
penis. Oh, I'm standard. And actually, I don't know about you guys, but like when I run, I get more like pigeon-toed, so my feet go in.
Kind of in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like you gotta pee.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I knew my grandpa adopted for a while, and one of them that was there, his name was Jake. He ran and he walked like kind of inny all the time. His feet were kind of
He
in
was
all
just-
the time.
oh.
Yeah, I was like, it's like, wasn't that like how Tommy is on the Rugrats?
Yeah,
like his feet,
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
Tommy
Tommy Pickles. Yeah, bro, that's how he walked and shit.
It's only called bow-legged when your knees are like bent inward, though, right?
I think so.
Otherwise,
Yeah, but I don't know if you feel like this. But I don't know how long you've been struggling with this thing. But I feel like when I put my feet straight in, I'm like my freaking knees are like feel like they're
Yeah.
I feel like they're.
Oh,
I feel like they're
dude.
more in.
Yeah,
but
I
when
feel
you,
like they're inward like that or
Yeah,
something.
or like if you walk in the snow, then you look back and you see how you did, and you're like,
Yeah.
shit, they're still out.
Dude, that's so crazy.
Being too
I'm
conscious.
I'm
Yep.
glad, dude. I feel better now.
like when you're thinking
I'm like, yeah, I
about
know
breathing.
somebody does the same shit as me now.
We both got goofy ass feet.
Yeah. So what? What you gonna do about it? I do. I really try to like keep them straighter though, but it's hard. It's hard to like just. And you feel like you're curling your foot almost like this. I don't know, dude.
I don't
You're
know
the one
either.
that pointed it out in that video. Though. You're like, why the fuck you do that with your feet, bro?
I don't know. I
I'm like,
always
what
watch
the-
how people walk. I always do.
But actually, no, I take that back. I don't know. I might have brought it up, and then you were like, "Yeah, I was wondering." Is that how it went, or did you point it
There's
out?
been a few situations where I've wondered about you. Yeah. Me though.
you.
Same for
Fuck
me though.
you. Yeah. No, that's fucking hilarious. I don't know, man. So we got some books here too. Like, how many books we got here? How
There
many
are
different
5.
ones? 5
Yeah.
books. Doorways to Decay. Here, Rich, I'm gonna put it in front of this camera. If you wanna zoom in on that.
These are all photos. These are all photos that you've taken as well.
Yes, and then the history. So it's similar to the YouTube channel where it tells like the history of the building, and then obviously photos or video.
I was gonna ask you, who's the primary photographer for the?
You did.
Well, for the books, it's all mine. But I'd
Yeah.
say like in terms of like overall, we kind of do
Like
equal photos,
Instagram and
but yeah,
stuff.
I have him run the Instagram, so. I
Right.
mean, I try to keep the Facebook active. I just finally got like I schedule posts for like the next 2.5 weeks right now. and
Yeah,
that's
I was thinking about doing
never
that too.
happened before.
I was thinking
usually
about
will do a
yeah.
couple and then
Yeah.
I try to do the schedule.
No, that
'cause
really
otherwise I
helps,
won't-
especially when you got that big backlog of photos and stuff,
Right.
such as you've accumulated it over the years that you've been doing it. And that's what Eric does too. You know, Eric's a photographer for what we do. So, you know, I was like, here, just, you know, run Instagram, dude. Like, you got this. Like, you take pictures. You got all the pictures. You know, he gives the pictures to me too, so I can have them for Facebook. And yeah, that works out better, especially when you can just like, here, you do this, I'll do this.
Yep.
You know, like this is cool. It's a team effort, anyways. Like, let's just get it done.
Mhm.
You know. Yeah. So, so, what the hell is your job then? What do you do?
That's what I asked.
Why are you
him
here?
too.
Why are we even talking? Jimmy?
No, so these
standard
these
piece.
books came out. These books came out like before you joined the group, then, or they were in works already.
I was
and-
with you.
Yeah,
when
he was
you
with
did the
me.
books.
Oh, for the books too.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always wanted to write a
great,
book
by the
too.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is the one where I wrote the
Oh,
intro.
Bandit Flint.
yeah,
Get this one.
He did. Yeah, let Jimmy.
Get
He
this
did
one
write
on
the
there.
intro to that book. We did just get a Amazon review where a guy was read that book and he said the photos are lame and it's obviously this writer wasn't from the area.
Oh my!
I love
goodness.
reading my negative reviews too. That
Okay.
make me
Do you
laugh.
like that? Do you?
I
pay
read them.
attention to
Oh yeah. I mean, if they're if it's something legitimate like a critique, I'll read it and or I'll laugh at it if it's somebody's. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't want to suck my own dick, but the guy was like, these photos are terrible.
Oh, they're
Oh,
great.
like how are they
Great.
terrible? Like, you know,
I know. I was like,
I mean, what I learned when we started this, I didn't know shit. I didn't
oh
know
yeah,
nothing
my
about
photo.
filming, dude.
I had to
He-
delete them all off because I was so ashamed of them. I
And
was
he,
like,
you know,
terrible.
as good as he was when we started, because I'm like, he can take good pictures. He took pictures of my band before we even started doing this. Like, and he's come like a long way too. Like,
Oh yeah.
when you get out there and you just have all this different content to like kind
Mm-hmm.
of focus on shooting. But I mean, as long as you got like your frame right, you know,
You
your
want your
composition,
material in there,
as
yeah,
long as you
it's-
get that, like you're gonna have a decent picture.
Right.
That's why you can go on Facebook and you see some like cell phone pictures and stuff, and like somebody's like blurred out, and it's like, you
yeah.
know, well, this is a great picture.
I do find
like,
sometimes
oh.
though that I actually have to resort to my cell phone to get.
Yeah,
a
yeah,
picture.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Sometimes,
Which
sometimes
is,
for
which
sure.
is fine, which is fine. But
Right.
I was going to ask you about your books. I mean, they're beautiful pictures. I was going to ask when you're working on the books, are you revisiting locations, focusing solely on photographing them, or are a lot of these photos coming from when you're actually shooting locations?
Yeah, so there was a lot where we revisited where I was like, all right, we gotta go back, and it's nice actually to not be like, okay, all I gotta do is get photos here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of those were some revisits, and then some like either you can't revisit or where later ones were actually like the photos. So it's kind of a mix for all of those books, and at the end it would be like, okay, as I would do like the research for the spot, I'd be like, yeah, this spot's really not that cool, and like of like cooler spots. So I would be like the Detroit one, definitely. There was like 3 days where I just had to take vacation off, and I was like, I need some more stuff for this Detroit book that's cool. So I went there, and then he came and joined me for like 2 of the days, and one of the days I went by myself like an idiot, but
Yeah.
You ended up all right though, right?
I'm
Right.
still here, I'm alive.
Sometimes I feel like, I mean, I know we go to a lot of bad areas, but I feel like they're not
They're not
as bad as you think because we're just minding our own business.
Right.
And that's not to say like don't take all the precautions, but when you get there, a lot of times it's not as bad. Like I was telling you about when me and my wife went the one time, and before we started this, and it's like we're just looking around, and we're looking at all these like older buildings and stuff in the neighborhoods that are just crumbled, and we stopped, got out, and went and looked in one, and like people, driving by, they're smiling, they're just like, she's like smiling,
Yeah,
waving, and it's like, and it's a bad area, like it's bad, it looks bad. You're like, ooh, I don't even know if we should get out, just because, especially because I had my wife with me too. I'm like, I don't know,
Right.
but we did, and it's just like you said, it's not as bad as you
Yeah.
think. We were at Cooley, we had a couple people hollering.
Yeah, it's
They're
usually,
like,
it's like
they're
the
like,
places
what
that they
what
are
the hell
hotter.
are you doing over
Yeah.
here?
Cooley
or
was the
something?
sketchiest one that I had been to.
Yeah.
Honestly. There was crackhead in the middle of the road on the road leading up to it, and we just thought, oh, it's just Detroit, just walking slow. And this dude was stumbling,
Yeah.
walking dead toward my vehicle.
The last thing that we kept seeing when we were in Detroit with Derek was people pissing on walls.
Oh yeah.
Like right out by the
just, like,
busy
pissing
road.
on walls?
Yeah.
So, like
There
3
was-
people in different instances in a single day.
So
like,
you just see like this one homeless guy goes up to like this like side of a church and he just pisses. And it's like a busy street too. Everyone can see him. I'm just like, you go, you dude. And then you got like some kid walking his dog.
oh my god,
and
that
he
one was
peed
ridiculous.
All over.
in an apartment
I-
building, like he just was,
I was
walking.
just surprised at
and
that
listening
much.
on the side of like the on busy road.
Yeah, I was
This
just
little
surprised
kid, and you could
that
see the
much
water
pee
streak,
come out of
Jeez.
And it's kind of nice how there's like you're kind of at ease too when you're thinking about it when you're going to
Yeah.
locations. You're like, am I really gonna get in trouble for being in here? Like we were
Right.
stopped by the cop one time and he just said you really shouldn't go in there. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna get dark soon. It's not safe. He never said don't go in there. It's trespassing. It's illegal. You can't do this. He just said be safe.
Yep.
Honestly, I feel more uncomfortable with like downtown Detroit. Like when we went like downtown Detroit, like
Yeah.
we went to a Tigers game. We got out of the game and we leave. We were stayed at the Greek town.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So it's just a walking distance. So we started walking back. As soon as we broke away from where like the street drummers were playing and stuff, which was really cool, boom, guy coming right up to us. He's like, "Man," drops his plastic bags, got his toothbrush, everything. I just got out of jail. You all got anything, you can get me or whatever. And, I need to get a bus ticket, to get back to my house, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, man, no, we ain't got shit for you. I got nothing. We're trying to just walk away. I'm like, right there, I've never encountered that while I was exploring in the hood.
Right.
or
Oh yeah,
the
those
bad
guys.
areas.
Yeah,
I've
they all
never-
want to stay on. Where
And
these
then,
people have
then
money.
even the next day we're walking around trying to get something to eat. And then there's like this, this older guy out there and he's got like these little American flags basically on toothpicks. And he's like basically like trying to hand them to you and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'll take one.
You take one, and then he's like $2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Then he
That's
says
how they
like, he's
get
like
ya.
$1. And I'm like, no. And then he's like, takes it right back. And I'm
Yeah.
like, like I feel like way more uncomfortable like around that stuff than like ever when I'm exploring.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny to me. Like people really think like, wow, that's dangerous. I wouldn't go in that neighborhood.
Remember that motel we stayed in out there by downtown Detroit? You want to tell them about that? Little incident that happened there.
Oh my God. Do I want to tell him? Yeah, I can tell him. Yeah, so we decided to stay the night when we did like a few buildings in Detroit. Do you guys normally do day trips or were you like stay? Well, of course, if you're going to another state, obviously
Yeah.
there's some night. But like in Michigan, are you like, no, I'm going home?
Michigan's usually the day trips.
Yeah.
Even in Detroit and everything like that, depending if it's not like the UP or something.
Yeah, I feel like
Well, we
Detroit.
figured out that we could probably do Detroit in a day too. But
Yeah.
so I booked this hotel. It was like 100 and some, like 110 or something like that. I don't know. Overpriced for this fucking dump, dude. We pulled in, and it's the kind where you drive up to your room, basically.
Okay.
You drive up. I'm like, oh, shit. I go in, fucking Habib's there, and I fucking go up, and I get our, room key and shit. So we take our stuff. We could walk over, and I walk in, and first thing, it's the wrong kind of room. Okay, it's got one bed. It's supposed to have two beds.
And I think there was at one point I was like, you know what, dude? If you're cool, I'm cool. But I just wanted to get.
I'm
the
like,
bag,
I'm
man.
like,
I was
no, fuck
tired
that. I'm like,
all
no,
day
fuck
exploring.
that, dude. I'm getting the room that we paid for, bro. So we go all the way down there, right? So
Yep.
he's like, I'm just gonna go sit down. I'm like, all right, man. Shit, that's why you don't ever put it in your name. Put it in the other person's name, and they got to deal with the bullshit.
You be booking
So-
from now on.
Anyways, so I'm like standing there, and then people start coming in. We got like a crowd of people now behind me now, and I'm just thinking, man, this guy's just sitting over there watching this shit. All these people are coming in, they're all like kind of, just mumbling around, talking. Then this other dude comes in, and he's fucking pissed, right? He comes in, he's got his mask on, he's got this trash bag full of shit. He's like, you better brought your own cleaning supplies. I got all this trash out of my room right now. Better bring your own cleaning supplies. I'm telling you that right now. I'm getting my money back. I ain't staying here. No, man, I ain't staying here. No, look at this trash. And he starts holding the trash bags up. He's trying to tell everybody, better bring your own cleaning supplies. He said that how many times?
A lot.
A lot, dude. And I'm standing there. I'm like, I just want to go. So, again, we just had this discussion earlier today. And I'm like, I'm kind of, I have a hard time like bitching at people like in those situations, being the quote unquote Karen, I guess, like we were just saying earlier. So I got the key. I'm like, all right, let's just go check out the room, see if this one's better. Because the last one was kind of anyways. So we go to the new room. Okay, it's got the two beds and stuff. But the bathroom's kind of nasty and shit. And well, we stayed. We just said fuck it,
Slept great, by the way.
Slept pretty good. Like it wasn't that bad. The mattress was terrible for what it was, but holy shit that I want to just get my money back and leave. I'm like, I didn't sleep under the sheets, I don't think.
There was like one plug in the main room too. We had to plug in like all our gear in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I was like, is there even enough plugs to plug everything in tonight?
Oh, and then we got delivery. Yeah, there is more. Yeah, got delivery from that one place from downtown, dude, and they fucking put cheese all over my. I don't like cheese. I'm not a big cheese guy, and they fucking put cheese all over that fucking burger, dude. And I was so hungry.
You starved yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, dude. Basically, I ate like 3-4 bites of that burger, dude. Man, I just went outside and smoked a joint after that, and was like, man, this is fucking.
You right, just went right outside the door and smoked it. 'Cause you were in Detroit.
I did. I sat right there, dude, right there, and just smoked a joint. Like, fuck you all. This is bullshit. I was so mad.
You look at it at the time when we were there, and it was like all stressful and didn't go according to plan. But when you look back, you laugh and you just had such a good time.
Yeah.
I like when it ends up like that.
Yeah.
There's always something positive to come out of it. So
Yeah. One of the episodes from that trip is kind of like going to be combined, like 2 buildings, because, it didn't pan out. But there was still some interesting stuff to see,
Yeah.
Normally there is. It would just like suck if you went to a place and the architecture sucked. There's nothing inside. Like just, and like you drove a long way. Or have you guys ever like drove a long way, did all the research you could, and you drive there and it's gone?
That's exactly why I don't do too much research beforehand, because I get my heart broken like that. It's I'll do like a very preliminary
research into
to
just
find where the location
where it
Yeah.
is, like to just make
Yeah.
sure it's there.
We've
Like,
definitely had that.
have you like
Yeah, it
how
just
far?
sucks.
What's the farthest you've drove, and to have it just be like,
I mean, there for few, like we went to New York, and there was like one other spot that I really, really, really wanted to get into, and I saw like 2 months before some kids posted a video where they were getting in, and so I was like 2 months. That's pretty damn close time. So I
Yeah.
was like, we went
Yeah.
there, and there was like one possible entrance, but it was in the building was maintained. It was in New York, so it's not like it was totally out of nowhere. So we were like, should we
in
try?
New York,
Should
New
we?
York, or New York State again?
It was in like right off. It was in Long Island, but it was still
okay.
like where you're in the city was still there. So it was still
It's there. It's around.
yeah, it
Okay.
was still like, very much in population. So I was just like, you know what? We both agreed. We were like, let's get to that next one, and let's just save this one and try to contact them to get a proper way in. Like, there's a lot of stuff where we will be like, okay, see if there's any realtors boards or whatever I have to look in the future, to try to get the proper way and do it like that, because it's not blown out,
Right.
what kind of feedback do you guys usually get when you try to contact somebody of getting into their buildings?
Yeah. How often, and to feed off that, like how often are you guys like doing that? I guess like
Yeah, they-
trying to contact people to,
Are they kind of like indifferent?
don't have to be
or-
specifics, but just like,
Yeah.
is that like a thing or?
Usually it's no response, and that's why a
Yeah.
lot of people give up. Like when we first started before Jimmy, we tried all message anyone, hey, can
Yep.
we do this is what we do. You get nothing back, and then you get discouraged. You're like, oh, might as well just go in, because it's if you go, you see it's wide open. You're like, oh, I'm just gonna do it. Who cares? Nobody cares. And so,
Right.
there's like nicer places, or places that are owned, and so you're like, so I mean, I have a list of stuff where I'm like, let's try to work on getting permission, and sometimes even when you hear back, you either don't hear back again, or then they just tell you no, or whatever. So
Right.
it's pretty
Yeah.
hard. But I am hoping though with our ghost hunting show, because it seems
Right.
like ghost hunters get allowed way more access
Well,
than
do you use it as a
Urbexers.
cover?
Yeah, that's what we are actually going to be doing this ghost show, so it's like it's not non-legitimate, but
Yeah,
it's also
right.
like mainly like, hey, I can get in.
No,
these.
I've talked to Eric plenty of times about like because I'm really interested in paranormal stuff. I really am. Always have been, and plus you go to places that are old and abandoned most of the time. I mean, there is places where they do keep up, like Felt Mansion here in Holland.
Right,
They'd run tours. They renovated the whole thing, and then you can rent that out, which they did this past year, $1,000 for the night, but you can have up to 10 people.
Yeah, it's places
So
like that.
You split it up for 10 people, 10 of your people is not going to be too dramatic about the whole thing, because you want to film something.
Right.
But then it's only $100 a person, and you get the whole fucking
Yeah.
mansion.
There's definitely there's places
like around there.
I know that there's a few in Ohio that
I want to like to do that for Eloise too, and
I would probably
for
do the
Eric.
Eloise one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think they
but-
do that there too.
Yeah, and like
But like
Waverly Hills or stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's I'll do it. If I do the Ghost and Legend thing and I get to see the place.
And a lot of times you can get there. You do it in the summer. You can get there, and there's still daylight. You get those
Right.
nice crisp evening shots.
Yeah.
Of
Oh, yeah.
the outside of the building. Try to hurry up, get some inside stuff, and then do you guys got night vision on either of your cameras?
We have a night vision camera, but it's not on our quality cameras.
So it's like the quality is just not. Up to
Yeah,
par
it's like
on
an
it.
old DV type camera.
Right,
It's the only
right,
one that I
right.
have that's got night vision. Actually, no, I did just get another one that does have night vision on it. I think I got it from work.
Oh.
They're throwing it out, and I like.
Well,
what's up,
flashlight's
us?
always
Yeah.
a creepy vibe too.
Right.
It's like going back to the ghost thing. You were saying how you feel like ghost hunters always get more access. I feel like it's kind of like a marketing strategy for people that own the buildings. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
hey, it's haunted.
Oh, yeah.
So now
Yeah.
ghost hunters came here. Or we're going to do some tours, and you can
Well,
stay here and you can pay us to see
exactly.
the ghosts that we know are not here. But,
I guess, maybe, but they also do, a lot of them do use that money to go into restoring the building
Yeah.
more.
Right.
So it's not,
I'm all for
a
that.
lot of it's not like a cash and profit grab and I'm going to go buy my Corvette with this. It's more like,
Right.
this is going to help me keep this building here and restore it. So it will be here for a long time. I know that. So, I mean, at least that's a good thing that does come out of it. You might think $1,000 for the night for you guys. Holy shit. But, it does go to a good cause. at
That's
least,
true.
And that mansion's huge. You
The felt one?
Yeah, you
That's
get the whole
gorgeous.
mansion.
Yeah, I've been
And
out
you
there at
could
the
go
disc
out to the
golf course.
carriage house, too. You get the whole thing all night and sleep there, sleep in any of the beds, dude. Yeah.
We tried
Do a
to
whole Zach Baggins thing. Oh! Oh my god, dude! I'm not used to this being here.
oh, man.
remember.
At least I didn't. At least I'm not shoving it in his mouth. No, it went this way.
Go right down his throat.
Is that a COVID test?
Yeah, right.
Screen
No, I had
time.
to wake him up anyways. He's over here going. I worked out too hard, man. Yeah, you guys worked out,
I
recently
got done
together.
running and then I smoked another cigarette.
And then I smoked another. cigarette.
Another one.
Another.
Another one.
One before and after.
I'm gonna take a piss break. You guys can keep going though.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, remember when we were talking to that lady on like that website for Felt Manor, and then she was like correcting us, like, "Oh, it's
Oh,
an
yeah, she was real.
estate, and we're not really big on having people explode." Like, she was just trying to like completely like dogging us and said like, melon heads is a derogatory term to people, and you should actually use goblin heads. I'm like, that just sounds way worse. Like, this lady's not doing any justice.
Isn't the
And-
melon heads the lore out of the Kalamazoo Hospital?
It's
Well, they say that there was an asylum there at Felt Manor, but it was
Okay.
actually
It
a
was-
state
yeah.
prison.
And it was botched lobotomies or something.
Right,
They
like
lost that
they
shape.
were, they had hydrocephalus, so it's like
Okay.
the water in their
Yeah.
head. So some evil doctor, and this same legend is in Ohio. They have the same legend too, just like tweaked a little differently. So
They're called the
yeah.
Cleveland Browns.
You guys believe in that stuff? You believe in the ghosts and all the spirits and everything? Or you go into buildings, you get scared or anything like that, or you just go in completely confident, not really worried
I
about what's around
mean,
the corner?
Not too much. I mean, really, I've had experience before that, I can't explain what it was. So, there's places where we definitely feel weirder. Like, you almost have like this like feeling of unease or something. I mean, like, there was that basement of that one school. It's just like completely dark. Turned on our lights, you see like these stick figures like on the wall and stuff. So I mean, that makes it really eerie. So you just have like, no idea like what's going on. Then later, you're telling me when you researched it that they found a body that was burnt and then decapitated.
Decapitated.
Yeah, in that same school. So that's what's wild. So that's like another reason why Kyle, says he probably doesn't do all of the research before, because like I think if you go in knowing that happened, you're like, I don't know if I want to do it. But if you don't know that it happened, you just look at it as like a regular explorer that you do. You're like, oh, this place is dope. Like, let's go check it out. It's not gonna bug you. But if you're like, oh, there's a guy found here burnt and decapitated, I don't think I'll.
scare you
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Have you guys ever actually encountered somebody of danger or a possible danger at all?
I mean, we've been in areas that are more sketchy, but like possibly not danger. Like, I know at least there were two in Detroit. Like, there was one. We were at the radio station there, and he was in an area and I was in an area, and I was walking like towards these stairs, and I heard like these like thick boots above me, like work boots. And they had like a jingle of a cane. But I mean, the place was obviously abandoned. But I was I was like, who the hell is that? So, and they were being real silent, but like coming. And so I just turned around and I walked to where he was, and I was like, there's somebody up there. And, we like waited, and like they were like quiet. So they weren't like shouting, like, "Hey, get out of there," or anything. So I was just like, I was like, is it just somebody homeless, or is it like a scrapper or something? so like we like waited a while, and then we decided to go up the other side of the stairwell, and we were just gonna be like, hey, is anyone there, whatever. And I think we were walking around a bit and didn't know if they left or whatever, and then we heard the footsteps again. So we were just like, all right, let's leave. The person obviously wasn't interested in talking or whatever, so we just like, let's avoid it. Like, we've had a couple of those instances where you don't know, so we just kind of try to play it safe rather than risk it and find out.
Yeah. Yep.
We had one of those at Riverside Osteopathic, and I'm sorry, no, it was Three Rivers, the really broken down one, and we got all the way to the top floor, and we were having a good time and everything. It was really cool, and I was reading some of the graffiti on the walls, and it was kind of like, keep going, stop coming this way, and it was like I'd turn back now if I were you, and I just kept reading them in like this creepy voice, and the next thing you know, like down the hallway, I just hear like crunching glass, sounds like a heavy footstep, and I tell Kyle, I was like, yo, we got to get out of here, and we try to navigate out of there with our lights off and everything. We make our way down, we get out the window, and then we turn around and we look up at the window around where we thought we heard something, and there's like a cat sitting right there. And I was like, we just stopped halfway through this exploration for a cat. And it's so funny because before we actually went in the building, there was this like whole family of cats that were just kind of walking around, some stray cats. So,
Thanks, sir.
yeah, I'm actually gonna grab another one here too.
Yeah, I'll do one too.
No, I'm
Another
gonna grab one of
one.
mine.
Another one.
Yeah, one of yours.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
I mean, we've ran into like a lot of like little like homeless people and like animals and stuff. There was one. It was at one church where there was like a methadone clinic across the way, and there's a bunch of homeless people living in there.
Exactly. The
And
one I
like
was
one
thinking
guy
of.
that you thought was a drug dealer looked down at you from the upstairs, and you're just like, "Can we just take some pictures in here really quick or something?" And then he just like.
He just like nodded, like
Nodded,
he
yeah.
just
He
like
did
looked
that
over
nod,
and like
yeah.
you could tell he had like a new coat and stuff, so you could tell that he like wasn't just some bum or whatever, and he
Yeah.
was looking. So I was just like,
But,
hey, is it cool,
But when we walked like towards like, was it like they had like a basketball area or something?
Yeah, it was big.
Like kind of like a rec area. You could see like we saw one guy just like.
Well, we walked
dealing-
by a dude.
he,
Yeah.
He was shooting up heroin or something.
No,
No, he had the needle. And everything.
He
You
did
didn't
it all
see that?
probably.
And then
I
he
know he
was
huffed
shaking.
something. He huffed something because that's what we could hear, and that's when then we heard the footsteps upstairs above us coming. So we were just like, "Adios, we gotta get the hell out
Well,
of
there's
this
like
place."
many different ways of like taking
Yeah.
heroin, isn't there?
Right.
But then like he just immediately just started like shaking. I'm like, what do
Yeah,
we do? And
yeah.
you're like,
Ooh,
I was just
fuck
like,
out
yeah.
of here, man.
Yeah.
And I feel like you guys feel like maybe you'd run into homeless people more often in a building that wasn't so broken down and demolished.
Right.
Like one where you can't breathe in it. It's pitch black all the time because people, always say, "Oh, be careful." There could be homeless people in there. There could be
Yeah.
drug addicts and stuff. But like, what
Drug
drug addict
dealers.
is gonna live in a pitch black room that's freezing cold with dust particles just floating around
Right.
all day?
Yeah. I mean, the only one I could give maybe a little cred to and say, yeah, probably could happen is maybe a drug deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see
You
that.
meet
Or
me
a
over
meetup or
here
something. Yup.
At this old hospital, nobody goes there,
Yeah.
Although if it was me buying those drugs, like, no, fuck you. You're going to the most
We'll know.
public
Right.
place
Right.
possible.
Let's do it at the
dude.
mall.
At the mall. The old handshake and I'm out
Handshake
of
in a
here.
briefcase.
Dude, like,
But then the joke's on you because there's no one at the mall.
no
The mall
shit.
abandoned too.
Yep.
Dead. Oh, damn. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I ain't meeting nobody like that. No, like, how do you feel about seeing people on groups that are like, "Hey man, I got some time tomorrow. Meet up and explore some place."
I
Like,
wanna
who-
do it,
like,
people.
There's
fuck
nobody.
no,
There's nobody
dude.
you've seen because I feel like I've seen
No,
some
dude.
reputable.
Oh, I've
people that
seen-
have, like,
I-
I've
yeah,
been in
people
co-
do it,
touch
but-
with that.
yeah.
Wouldn't
I
be
see
me
it-
that would do that. Sort of
I see
thing.
it in the hiking groups though. People do meet up in the hiking groups. They will
Yep.
organize meetups. They're like more comments on it than I see in urban exploring groups, and they're like, want to meet up and like not really much replies. But I wouldn't. Hell no.
You gotta really
dude, I
gauge
don't
somebody if you
know.
want to do something
Yeah.
like that. You have
Yeah.
to know them for
Yeah.
a while. You
Like-
can't just be talking to them online and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know what they're gonna do. You see, we've seen some that people like don't meet up with so and so. They stole
Yeah.
my camera or something.
Oh
like that.
shit! Right. It's more like the people that I guess that you see posting a lot in the group, and they seem to have a little more cred. Like those kinds of people would be like the ones that I would probably go with, but not just like all of a sudden this random person's like, hey, I got Monday off, gonna go out and explore some places. Anybody want to come with?
Right.
No.
No,
Sorry.
actually
Is
one
Mondays
guy-
your killing days? Is that
Yeah,
when you like
I
to
know
kill?
the game. Exactly.
The one guy in the group that we just recently talked to, the Jerry guy, he seems like a pretty cool
Oh,
guy.
yeah,
He's been
yeah.
doing it
You
for a
don't
long
like
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
He seems really nice, yeah, but
What's that?
Kyle doesn't like him.
Oh, you don't like him?
He gives out locations. That's why I don't like
Oh,
him.
so you just don't like his style?
Yeah, I just
Maybe
yeah.
maybe him as a person is all right.
could be
Yeah.
he could be a good as person. I just
don't like him.
once
I'll
or
give-
twice I like commented. I was like, it's not really cool to like give this spot out, and he was like,
Oh, okay,
So
right.
it's-
Well, again, that's why I don't like online talking. That's why I like talking like this when you're in person, because you can give more context to what you're saying.
and
Right.
a lot of people want to do the trade thing. So what I usually do is I just give them a bunk location. I'll give them a bunk one, and then if they give me a good one, I'm like, all right, here you go. I'll give you another one. That one's that's actually
And-
better because I'm not gonna risk that. I've done that before where I've gave out
Right.
a location.
Yup.
And they said, oh, cool, yeah, dude, I'll give you one, and then I never hear from them.
But I would classify bunk also as in like parchment paper mill. Like it's not bunk. Like its place is cool, but
Oh, it's
everybody
still
knows.
very cool.
Everybody knows about it.
It's
Yep.
the kind of place that if you've never explored and you get into, that's the great
Yeah.
place to get you.
that was
really
that was my
addicted.
first
Yep.
spot,
Addicted
and
to
then
it.
we were
Yeah.
just
Right.
hooked. We were like,
That's
Right.
that's me and him actually both went to Cooley. It was our first spots, I believe.
Yeah, separately
Or-
though.
No, before my first spot ever, and I didn't.
Yeah,
I
you good.
I went
yeah.
to like the AMF bowling alley in Muskegon, right across from
Mm.
the banks across the street from one another. I went there. That was the first place I ever went.
And then the
that
second
kinda got
one
me into it.
was the
Muskegon, the old Muskegon paper mill.
Yeah,
I've
there you
actually
go.
been there. I got video and pictures of that before I got torn down too.
cool.
yeah.
And then it
have
was
you guys
cool,
ever
man.
went to that place?
Are you talking about Sappy or Shaw Walker?
Sappy.
Oh yeah, we
Just
never
right,
got-
right along the lakeshore. Right
You
there
never
at the
did that
train
one?
station.
Yeah, I no. It was.
Oh, you have to check out his pictures after this. He's got his computer here.
Yeah, I'm interested to know. Yeah. So,
Yeah, it was pretty torn down. Most of like the middle inside of the
Yeah.
the property, but they had some buildings in the back that all had the power on. There was fans running. They were just caked in dust.
I like it because it's like, oh, here's baby Eric. You know, he's like just getting into the game. You know,
And it was funny because
Like,
I was
you can
filming
see
it.
how much you've grown. You know, it's cool. It's cool to me.
I was filming it. I was trying to talk like I was urban exploring and stuff.
I
didn't know
haven't
what I was
seen the
doing.
video that you.
You're not gonna see it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not gonna see it.
It's
ever
hard to
again.
get you to send a picture that you're just like not 100% on, man. It's like, oh,
I'm very hard on myself. I always like to make sure that I put out as best quality that I can
Right,
get.
but even for my personal use, you're like,
Yeah, I know. That's still.
I'm like, man.
I think that's why I can't take pictures of people.
But
'Cause
I
won't give them the
understand.
pictures if I don't like them.
But I understand too. You know, like I said, you know, when I did music before too, and somebody might say like, hey, you know, can I hear this track or something? I mean, it was basically like, no, like not until like I feel like this is good, then I'm gonna let you hear it. I'm not gonna let you hear all my scratch tracks and shit from before. Or like,
Are they ever good enough to turn around in like 5 years from now if you make it like, oh hey, bonus track, or are they still cringe? Like once you've established yourself, are you willing to release that?
then I would. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because people are
for
really
sure.
interested in that at that point.
Yeah, because
I wanna see where you came from
That's,
and
that's
how
when
you
you
grow.
come out with the little anniversary edition, 5th anniversary, 10th anniversary,
songs I've
bonus
ever made,
tracks,
Volume 1.
the tracks that were left off of whatever. Their first release had 5 missing tracks. What are they? Find out.
Either one of you guys do any type of music or instrument,
I do
singing,
not.
poetry, anything like that? Like,
Not even the flute. Not even the recorder. The kazoo.
No.
Yeah, dude. You didn't do kazoo in school?
No.
what
I
about
did-
the ocarina on Zelda? You ever
Man,
play
I was
Ocarina?
Yeah, you ever play
zero,
on that?
zero music. This side over here.
You never did the Macarena.
I did the drums for like a couple of months. Wasn't my thing. That was the most.
I
did.
played
Couple of
I
months.
played drums, and then I
Yeah.
did I like taught like, you know, drum line and stuff for a couple of years.
You
and
did teach it?
everything. Yeah.
Cool.
You know a kid named Zach. I'm trying to remember what his last name is. Hold on, I can pull it up real quick.
That's fucking.
The Baggins.
Is
Yeah.
it Baggins? Did he believe in
I was
ghosts?
He
going
asked me
against
if
the
I knew
cardinal
who you
sin
were,
of
and I told him I
phones.
did. He said that you were his teacher, the drum line.
Sabaluski.
Zach Parsons.
Parson. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I actually worked
Yeah.
with him.
Oh no, kidding.
he's pretty
Yeah, he's a good kid.
Yeah, he said
He
that
still
you were his
play?
drum line teacher.
Used to play drums.
No, I don't think so.
Well, not everybody from a drum line converts to a drum kit.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
I tell you one thing. I love like listening to drumline. It's I don't know what
Yeah,
it is.
dude, it's
I
so
get
fun.
goosebumps hearing.
That's why
like,
that
them all
drum line,
drumming
even
in
though
unison
Nick
and
Cannon's a
crazy rhythm.
douche, even though Nick Cannon's a douche, drum line was good.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
The music was great. Just
Yeah.
the drumming music.
Yeah.
I love that kind
Like
of stuff.
college football, like I always look forward to like seeing some of the halftime for, you know, some of the band going. Even though like some of them are like, you know, it's not that good, but it's cool. I like it. The coordination, like you got to keep up that. You got to march with it and then move on a field, and you got to keep your time. Like that's a lot going on. It's hard for me to like even sometimes keep with two pedals and keep the same rhythm going up here, and then you got to go with the bass drum and the hi-hat and go at this, you know, at the right time. That's hard enough. I got to move on a field.
And then you got to have the strength and endurance in your legs to keep your feet going in rhythm as long as you need to keep them going.
Exactly.
And everything too. And I can't even keep my feet going that long.
Dude.
So I can only imagine keeping it going that long and keeping the rhythm
And
with
the
your
rhythm.
hands.
Yeah. Especially when you're on drums because you're the fucking rhythm
And
section.
some people sing and play drums, and that's just
I don't know. What's worse? Like a horn going off, like key, like, or a guitar, like what's worse? What would be worse? I think they're
like for like an orchestra.
like just like you're watching the thing and then something goes haywire. You're like, I
feel
a
like-
bad guitar or a bad horn. I think a horn's bad.
Yeah, those are usually more orchestrated types of things, and when one falls out of line, you really notice it. But you can,
If
I
I
feel
was
like
to
you
play-
can pick up a riff or something.
Yeah,
you know?
you can recover from that quicker,
Yeah.
I think, than, you know. So
Recover
You
from
hear
which
that
one quicker, the
drum
horn
go out of the,
or
the,
the
the guitar, I
Guitar.
think. Yeah.
yeah.
Unless you just suck, but I think, like, you know, you'd be all right. You could do, you know?
It's true. Yeah, unless you suck, and then you're like sitting there, you're like, oh, where am I? I lost where I am in the band.
Yeah.
Shit. That's the worst. You go to a local bar and the drummer just can't keep up. He's just constantly off by like 1 beat, 2 beats per minute. You're just like you wanna be like, yeah, but it's just late every time.
It's just like the whole band has to slow down the song for him.
Yeah, or something, and then he's still off or something. Oh.
Goes from a hatred song to a love song because it was got so
If I were to play any of the wind instruments, though, it would be the saxophone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I did have a little love affair with that. Like I was like, I really want. My cousin was playing it, and like he brought it over. I'm like, oh man, it'd be so cool. The saxophone, dude.
Do you guys have like a theme song for when you go out exploring? Is there like when you guys are riding together to locations? Is there like a song that always has to play? While
It's
you're headed there?
the heart in a blender
No,
song.
it's
Eric.
not. No, it's
Talk about that.
not.
We cannot talk about that.
Yeah. That's no, it's not.
That's his all-time favorite song, isn't it?
Yeah, he always loves
You think
it.
he posted
We,
about
uh,
it?
Big-
definitely,
it's his big
it's
joke.
definitely played. It's definitely played
Yeah.
along the way.
I didn't
We,
realize who it was until I actually
Oh, yeah.
listened to more of
Yeah. So like their
posted.
lead singer basically just like went on Twitter and just like asked like all these celebrities, he's like, do you like the Heart in the Blender song? And he's like, you know, the third eye blind guy, he like banged my girlfriend and thinks he's the shit, but I farted on his pillow, like stuff like that. Like,
fuck.
yeah. He's just like,
Farted on his pillow.
yeah, he just like will you know, just troll people and stuff for fun, but then he'll just be like, do you like the Heart in a Blender song? And then somebody asked me recently, like, I have a question for you. Is it called the Heart in a Blunder song or is it Inside Out?
So do you have one or no? Do you have a song or no?
I mean, it's
What's your song? What's your song?
I don't know. I just like to listen to a lot of synthwave.
What's your favorite? What's one of your favorite songs that you're gonna play before you go?
Type
It's
of location to
actually-
get you
I mean,
in.
honestly,
Yeah.
if you don't have one, you don't have to because we don't have one.
Well, we
We
have
just
a
listen
song.
to
It's just
lo-fi
dumb.
hip hop.
Yeah,
the whole
or a lot of times like
Or
you
some-
don't even listen to anything.
If it's in my car, sometimes there's nothing on because I just don't even like want
Yeah.
to mess with it. I mean,
We've been kind of like diving into like more of the podcasts and stuff lately, like all like the creepy crime and then like
yeah,
creepy pasta stuff. But then there's
husband.
yeah, and there was actually this other podcast that we've been on with these guys from Colorado, and we'll usually listen to that and you know see if there's any like you know odd ducks on there. There's like one guy who's talking about the Methodist Church in Gary and how he took pictures and he just started like crying his eyes out on this
On the
podcast.
podcast.
for what?
It's so
'Cause it was
Because it was
beautiful.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Yeah, I
cried
mean,
his eyes
yeah,
out?
I mean,
I mean, when I'm there, you know, like I'm not gonna lie. When we went to Dwight, I mean, there could have been, there wasn't, but it was there. I was like,
Dude,
yo,
Dwight
dude,
was
this
just
is
cool.
this is what we wanted to see. Like I was about ready to, like it. I could feel it welling up, you know.
Yeah.
You know, there's a point. I specifically remember like looking at you too, like you're looking at me, like this is what we want. Like this.
Dude, we did it.
Rich,
Handshake, high fives.
Rich, on the other hand, who's hanging out there handling video right now, like he's like, you know, he's going all out. He's like, yo, up here, this is where this is, and everything. And during that moment, I'm like, this is it, man. We
actually-
wanted to see this.
It's actually really nice to have him because a lot of people, you know, you don't think about it. You're filming the location, finding all the interesting things, but you miss so much because you're
Right.
filming the location and having him going around looking at stuff. He
Yeah.
really picks up a lot of interesting things that we don't notice
Right,
otherwise.
right, yeah. So that helps out too. Kind of like a scout while we're there too.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah.
So yeah, that feeling though, that does come up. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
if you're putting a lot of time and effort into something, just like when I would go on stage too, every time it'd be like, you know, you put all this time and effort
Yeah.
into getting there. Yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna have that feeling of like, yes, I did it. You know, we succeeded.
Yeah.
Just like when you're trying to get through, you know, and all through the dirt and the mud and everything, like it's just like
Yeah.
yes.
I always try. It's like when I am at a cool place like that, because I do the video, I try to like take like 30 seconds where you just stop and you like just sit there and look and you don't have your camera or anything. Because like when I first started, I would go through these places and then I'd be like, oh, I only saw what I saw through my lens, and I'd be like, you don't get to really experience it. So I'll like try like to like all right, put that shit down, just sit here and look. Like at the Silver Dome, I climbed all the way to the top,
Ooh,
the
that's
very
so
back
cool.
corner, and I luckily had like some time to kill, and so I just sat there. I just sit there and just empty stadium. That was one of the coolest Urbex moments I think I've ever
Man.
had. Just sitting, I was just like, I'm
Did you
the
kinda
only
wanna cry
person
there,
in
too?
here.
Did you
I
kinda
didn't
want-
want to cry, but I was just like in awe because I was just like
Yeah.
only person in this huge place that used to have like 3 fucking million people sitting there,
dude.
and it's quiet. And I was just
Nothing.
like, it's like really cool. Like
Now, when you
moment.
went, did it still have the top on it? Or was
No,
there was
I
no
went.
top?
Yeah,
There
it
no
was.
top.
Isn't that where Hulk Hogan body slammed?
Yeah, that was
yeah.
they set like the
Giant or
world
whatever?
record attendance at that time to see WrestleMania
Yeah.
3.
I think my parents said that they went there and they've seen that when it happened. I'm
Wow.
sure
Yeah.
That's cool. That is really cool.
I always wanted to see like. the
And we
Pirates
were
of the
like,
Caribbean,
and we were like a day late and a dollar short on the whole palace too. Did you?
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to get
no,
in there?
that was
No.
same as us.
but
We-
that's another reason I feel like we were just like year behind or a year or two
I
behind.
know.
on the
Sometimes
Urbex
it almost
thing,
feels
man.
like, but then again, if you think about it, it's probably like that almost every year.
that's
or
what I'm saying,
two.
because
It's
we
like
feel the
we're-
same way, and
Yeah.
In another year,
Yeah.
some other people are gonna
Every-
feel the
And
same
you got to
way.
think too, because a couple years ago, yeah, that place got destroyed. But then a couple years from now, more places are going to become abandoned, and then the places that you have explored are going to be destroyed. And it's never going
Yeah.
to stop. Places are
Exactly.
always going to continually
And
become
redevelopment
abandoned. Yes.
and everything else. It's inevitable.
And that's the thing that I wonder about is when you find a location that's freshly vacated. How do you know when it's the right time to hit it?
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
Because you don't
Yeah.
want to be the first one. You don't want to be the one that
I
breaks
don't
the
know if you
window.
want to be
Yeah.
the first
You
one.
don't.
Yeah,
you
I
don't know if there's
Yeah.
security in there yet. You don't really know anything about it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I guess you kind of wait until the bushes and the weeds around it are a little
Right.
too overgrown, and then you're like, okay,
Yeah,
nobody's
the vines
really
start
coming
growing up
here.
the walls.
Nobody's coming
Exactly.
here, and that could take maybe like a year. It could be. I mean, depending on where you're at, depending on what state you're going to, that could be 6 months or 2 years until like that location seems like nobody's tending to this son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I am gonna get in there.
Yeah, there's one in Grand Rapids we actually have our eyes on right now, but I mean,
Yeah, and
Just
that's one of those things. It's just
never
like the
know.
waiting game, know. And then and that's nice if it is something close, or in Michigan within driving distance. You can just kind of like, okay, well, we're gonna go around here, hit a location, but let's go scout that other one that we've been scouting for the past year and just see what it looks like again. And then eventually, one of these times, you're gonna go by and be like, all right, let's go.
Yep. Sometimes you just gotta send it.
Yeah, just gonna send it.
Yeah.
dude.
yeah, Jimmy was telling me about how like he drives around for work and stuff like that, and he always sees these locations and like
Yeah.
when you guys are sometimes out exploring, if you see something like really promising, you'll stop and go check it out. And I just realized how many abandoned houses I've seen over the years, and I've never even thought about doing that once.
Right.
But how much
Yeah.
could be left inside of a house that's just sitting there like that.
Right. And
That-
then like with the project that we got going
Yeah.
there that you've organized on the Google Earth, you could be right there and then just hurry up, jot down where your
Yeah.
coordinates
Yup.
are,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got that location, dude.
Right.
Even like you say you didn't have time that day, you're like, oh, but I'm gonna put
Yeah.
this location
Yeah.
down. I got it now. I can go
And,
back
and
to
the
it
thing
later.
about those houses that you guys do, those the thing that's really cool about them, and I think you said something to me about it before, Jimmy, is how like you get the personal, you kind of feel like
It's really well
inside of someone's
preserved,
family.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and see
And
how
then-
they lived.
Because like the first time we spotted the house frozen in time, as we call it,
Yeah.
it was just in the brush. We drove past it. And you're like, whoa, you always see an abandoned something. You gotta
Yeah.
go stop. So he's like, all right, let's check it out. So he walked in through the back, and they had a big barn too with like old bikes, like the sleds that have like the metal on the bottom or whatever.
Yeah, the
And-
old time sleds.
Yeah, and like signs and stuff in there. It's so cool. Then we get into like the actual house, and they had like all this colorful like scheme going on in like their kitchen and their bathroom. They had like a pink bathtub or something,
Mm-hmm.
and then like
The old pink.
yeah, it was wild. And we're walking through there. They have like old like Time magazines and stuff in the living room with like
Really?
coffee table, couch.
What was the
Got-
date on the magazines? Do you remember?
It was so.
I think the place was
wet.
abandoned about in the
but-
80s.
In the
Yeah.
80s?
Yeah.
It's still cool.
Yeah.
It was.
To see Time magazines on there
Mhm.
from the 80s, it's like you said,
I mean,
frozen in
yeah.
time, like literally.
like the TV in the corner, everything, and then you walk in the dining room tables there. I mean, it's not set, but it's still like everything's pretty much in place. And then get upstairs and see all the like toys in the kids' room, or the bookshelf, everything,
Yeah.
globe on the nightstand, and all that stuff. I mean, it's just wild.
Have you ever been able to like follow up on a location and maybe find out who the owner of the house previously was, and maybe get into contact with them and see why they left the place or anything like that, or is that not
that
something
probably
you
falls
really,
in line with
it's-
what you said earlier about contacting to get in. It's probably
Right.
like a
kind of
Yeah.
the same thing, like kind of
Yeah.
maybe get creeped out by like you were in my old house or something?
Yeah.
There's
right.
been some people though that like have like I message us and been like, oh, that was my old place. So it was mostly a lot of the times it's like their schools.
after the
Yeah.
YouTube
I
videos
think-
out. Is what
right,
you're saying?
yeah,
So they
and I've
see
s-
it and
yeah.
they contact you.
And I mean, I've gotten message like one time from a guy who was like, "Hey, this is my address of my old house in Detroit. I know it's abandoned now. If you ever would check it out, I'd like to
That's
see it."
cool.
That's
And
really
and I followed back with him. I was like, "Could we do like an interview to ask those exact questions?" And
Yeah.
of course, he never responded. So yeah, I was
That'd
like,
be really cool.
"That's bummed to find out." Yeah,
Right. That's cool. But so wasn't that one of you said Frozen in Time? Was that the one that kind of blew up? Like, or if not, what was that like when you got that first like that video that went viral? You're like, holy
Yeah.
shit! Here comes the subscribers coming in. All of a sudden, it's just like boom, 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 and you're just sitting at home behind your computer, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, was it like
Like
overnight it
holy
blew up, or was it
crap! Like
progressively?
when
Yeah.
what was that like? Take us through that time.
Honestly,
'Cause that's a crying moment. I would be
Yeah.
fucking bawling.
Be really happy,
Honestly,
yeah.
I mean, just even if you're not like, it's not like a lottery win. Like, oh no, I'm gonna make a bunch of money, but just still like now all these people are gonna see what I've been working on too.
Yeah.
Like so,
Able
take
to
us through
appreciate it.
that moment. Or
I
time.
honestly
mean-
don't even know if I realized that quite at the time, like, because it was Frozen Time was the first one that blew up, and then we had the antique store was pretty quick after that. Those were both still are our biggest hits, and at first I remember it was just started getting more views, and I was like, huh. But
Right.
then it just like kept going. But like I mean, I kept putting out more videos, so it would like go farther down, and so I would just see it once in a while. I'd be like, oh, it's still doing well.
And then
I think the coolest feeling was though, like when we Lad Bible and like VT and one or two other smaller ones contacted us for the antique store, and like that was when I was like, dang. And then surprisingly though, I didn't notice that much of an uptick from that. Like, I mean, it's still cool. Our name was out there and it was still on there, but like we didn't get as much as you were expecting, because that's when I was like, oh shit,
Right.
people are gonna follow
Yeah.
this. But I mean, and you gotta think the same thing. Like you see a video on there. How many times do you actually look, like, see where it's like says like was made by, and you look at that? Most of the time you look at it, you're like, that's cool, and you keep swiping. So I was
Right.
I kind of realized that.
But us as like content creators too, like it's hard to think about that other mind, because in playing music, everything, my mind's kind of trained to like go, who made this? I look at the video really quick, and then I go right to who made it.
Go to their profile.
Go to
see what
the
they look like.
YouTube channel. Like that's kind of what I do. So I mean, other people just more commonly just look at the video and then just swipe to the next. That's why TikTok and shit like that.
I think
so
most people
popular.
that don't do it aren't interested in that. They're just they see it, they don't think, just like a bunch of movie. Like I'm like, oh, this director did this one, he did this and this. Other people are just like, oh,
Who cares?
Yeah, some people are like, oh man, I love Quentin Tarantino. And then some people are like, oh, I love this movie.
Right.
There's two different people right there.
Yep.
Exactly. We were on this Facebook group here recently, and they talk about like all these like shitty horror films and stuff. And then you and I always go in there and we're joking around saying like, oh, Rob Zombie's the greatest director. We're spelling everything wrong, and then they're getting pissed like how we spell, and that we're saying Rob Zombie's the greatest director, and we just like get into like these really big beefs. And so it's how I'm like, oh, it's not a spelling bee, and
Oh man,
all this other stuff.
Zabrambi.
Yep.
Getting into tuffles and whatever you want to say on Facebook is just for the fucking birds, man. Oh, I don't know. It used to be fun. Some people used to do it for fun. I couldn't do that for fun. How's that fun?
You never really know if you're gonna hurt somebody's feelings nowadays.
Yeah.
You're really gonna upset somebody.
So
I'd rather just-
PC, so PC. Everything is so PC. You can't.
And
That's why, like, it's getting into the groups now too. Like, about like going and urban exploring. It's like, you got somebody that's gonna comment on there and talk shit, and then you got the other ones. Like, I agree. They shouldn't be going here. And then you got. It's just like, oh man, I almost is like, some of these people are just gonna start contacting cops and stuff.
Oh yeah, I
They're
know
going
it's
to,
I know
you
it's
know?
happening. but
It's got to be happening, because there's people on here that are like really against it.
oh yeah,
And they're there for like, the interesting stuff, and then they see that these people are going in abandoned places. Oh, people that have nothing else to do. I'm like, almost like, do you even post here anymore? Like, I don't know.
We
It's
actually
like-
had an incident with a guy that one time. Remember the Rosie's Diner video we had? on
Oh yeah, he
YouTube
commented
posted
on it. He
Yeah.
said, "Get the fuck off my property."
And it really makes you wonder though, like do I when I post a video,
made it back to him, man. Shit.
it's like when I post a video, do I post the location of it
famous.
too, or do I just kind of post what type of building it is, because I don't want to be traced back, and if I explored this place like 3 years ago, am I gonna get in trouble for that? So
right.
kind of think about that sometimes after that happened.
Yeah.
There was a guy that we knew, and he explored a train up north, and he posted pictures like the day after he saw that, and then he got like this nasty message from a guy who's like, I work for the railroad, and I'm gonna show your profile, blah blah blah, call the cops, and like all this stuff, and
Really?
yeah,
Did they do it or?
no.
And most
it
of
was
the
just
time, and because
threat.
like in one of our videos, I know a guy contact, like he was commenting like up a storm on this thing about, well, that's not your property. I know where that is. You're trespassing. And just going off, and he was like, I'm contacting the state police. And I mean, the thing is, how high of that priority is somebody post a video? Because you don't know when they filmed it. You have
Right.
to prove that. And and like I hold like a lot of our places that like are more high risk. I hold those back for a while. Like I still have ones I'm sitting on, years plus, just so I can wait.
Right.
But yeah, like I know that guy definitely contacted them, and it's like they're like, okay, is this person, was this place like, if that place burned down or something after, that's when they start getting interested. But there's like somebody walked through and did a video, it's not worth our time, especially if they have to cross like county lines, state lines, etc.
All the work that has to go behind.
Right. They really got to want
prosecuting
somebody.
for going through an abandoned building when you
Right.
see that they clearly just filmed a video and you guys did research to respect the history of a location.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
What are you gonna say
It's the
bad
same-
about somebody doing that? They're preserving the history of a place.
It's the same thing if
Right.
you get caught or something while you're there. You know, I mean, we got so much equipment on us. We got extra battery packs. We got cameras. We got video recorders. We got little lights on top. I mean, dude.
They know we're not.
They probably are just like,
vandalizing.
those guys are the biggest nerds. Like,
Yeah,
they
right,
probably laugh
exactly.
all about us
Why are you here in
Urbexers.
this Sure stupid
Yeah, they're like
building?
these stupid kids with their cameras and stuff.
Because
Little nerds going in there.
They've probably all been through those buildings before.
Oh, yeah,
while they're in
they-
abandoned.
that's-
They know
Yeah.
it's there. They're like these fucking.
Yeah,
geeks,
and a lot of people
nerds.
just because they just don't get it, they're like not thinking about the history or whatever. They're just like,
Right.
oh, I wish they'd tear this place down because I gotta go in there because some damn
Yes.
nerd went in there.
Right. Yeah, there's lots of those people like down in like Three Rivers there. I'm sure that place like I'm surprised that place is still there.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
very
like,
dear
it's
to the
so-
community there.
But it's so weird. It's so weird. It's just like there,
Right
you
in the
walk
park.
around it, you walk and drive
Right.
around it.
Yeah, that's kind of an anomaly.
It's
I
so
feel like
weird.
with
got the
they-
little zoo back there and everything where the
Mhm.
kids
Still
were.
there. Yeah.
We actually
I
didn't
mean,
even look at that when we were there.
We didn't
I know
either.
You did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. I
Okay,
got
I
some
never- I
film
never
on
did.
it.
Yeah, we didn't. I didn't know about those
There was
till
like
after.
some
Oh, you
cages or
did?
something. in
No.
there, I think,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they had
Yeah.
some animals along the little river.
Yeah, I
there.
got a little B-roll on the video
Okay.
of it. I mean, we didn't really do much with it, but can't get in. It's still.
Right.
That was
Rods
the
all
end
around
of a
it.
long day, so
Yeah, we did 2 locations that day.
the heartbreaker episode with
But
the
it was
hotel.
it was fun though going in there at night and exploring at night because again like it's right there in the middle of the park. There's like people parked in like the old parking lot area down
Yeah.
below the slope. And I'm like, this dude's just chilling in his car. I'm
They
like,
just having
"Hey,
lunch when we were there. I
I'm
was like,
like,
what?
Yeah.
dude, I'm
Having
not going
picnics
in.
and stuff on the hill
Yeah.
in front of this old broken
Dude,
down house.
it's,
Yeah.
yeah. that is a strange
So strange,
location.
so
you know?
strange.
Had that one guy approach me and he was like
Yeah.
asking me about it. He was like, so you're into like ruin porn or
Yeah,
something?
ruin
I was like, Sure. I was like, I'd
porn.
love to take pictures of ruins.
Yeah, no
Tell me
kidding.
about like some abandoned shelter down there. We never found it
Fallout
because
shelter, yeah.
everything was just completely decimated.
Oh yeah, it was one of those ones where it was like it was bad shape, so you would have loved to have gotten it with daylight, so you
Yeah.
could at least see more of what was left there.
Yeah.
Because at night, I mean, I did the whole thing in night vision. Just I didn't stop recording once we went in, and then we had flashlights, so you can't see like any detail that was left. Like we
Right.
think we seen like a walker or something, in there too, but. It's
Yeah,
like,
all the
you
walls
know.
were gutted. Everything was
Yeah,
broken.
so it would have
all
been
the
nice to
lights.
have some daylight for
That's
it,
a real
to
Bill
see it.
Finan.
Yeah, what's that?
It's a real Bill Finan.
Yeah, that's a Bill Finan right there. Fucking douchebag.
Yeah, I told them
Yeah.
about how we had our little incident there.
Fucking douche. Oh, the incident. Yeah, but yeah, that guy's a fucking douche though, man. Like, why?
I want to explore with them.
He, I think
I just
it's-
want to see him climb through a window.
I want to see what kind of equipment.
He's
he
like
has.
fucking Winnie the Pooh. He's gonna get stuck, dude. And everybone's gonna be like, "Heave, ho."
He's like,
No, it's funny because there's actually like something like some guy started an argument with him on Facebook. He's like, we did explore with you, Bill. Then you started talking shit about us, and then we went with you to some building. We were trying to get you through a window. You got stuck, and you were telling us, you're like, "Hey, go call the police. I won't rat you."
calling him Winnie the Pooh reminds me of that big Winnie the Pooh.
It's
Musket
like they had to
movie.
like, all right, Timmy, just start spitting on his gut. I'll spit on his back. And just
Oh,
start
just fucking shimmy him out of there.
It's like that. It's like that meme I posted where it's like, "Oh, Christopher Robbins, I happen to be stuck." Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Bill. He's like, yeah. I'm stuck in this little crawl space. Somehow help me.
It's almost like he just
Is it-
plays into it. By now.
Yeah, there's gotta be.
It's got to be it. I
a
mean,
persona, like you said.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
and,
hoping to like make some money off it one day.
One day, you'll cash a big check.
Or do you think he's gonna get like a free ride or something, given locations? People will be like, "Well, you got all these locations, man. Why don't you tag along with us?"
People
You're
just
part of
walk
the
all. People walk all the fuck over you.
thing." Yeah.
You are no god. You are no saint. You are nothing. I mean, seriously, because you give
Bill
out
Finan.
because you fucking give out locations and you got a map full and everybody can fucking come check out my shit. Man, you ain't nothing, bro. You are fucking ant. You're just crawling on. People are like, oh man, this Bill dude, he give you a location. Okay, I'm gonna contact this dude. Hey, you know where this is? Sure. Here's my map. Thank you. Fuck you. I ain't ever talking to you
I'm gonna
again.
contact him
That's
and
what
get
the
his
fuck
map.
it is, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll give it to you.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
do
He'll
that.
give it
Post
to
it every
he'll
so
fucking,
often. I
he'll
looked
give
at
it to
it
you.
before.
Oh, he'll fucking give it to you.
I didn't think about that.
He'll fucking give it
We
to
gotta block him from the podcast. I feel like we've been a little harsh on him.
No,
Poor
maybe we
Bill.
should bring him on.
Oh,
But we can't until
please.
2023 though.
That's
Yeah, at least.
Oh, 2023.
We might be lucky.
You can just
Yeah.
set up a little
2023.
Skype camera there, though.
Yeah, we could.
I mean, we could, but
Skype.
that's not his goal. Is
Dude.
bringing him in.
Please.
But he doesn't
Yeah,
live
you
here.
guys
dude.
are
He doesn't live in
Buffalo.
Michigan.
Do you
Buffalo.
think that he
Dude, if you
disobeys
guys
his
got
parents?
Skype?
That
I
he
can
still gets
Skype
the
him
belt?
if he's all the way in Buffalo.
Like,
we can
do you-
Skype.
Do you think that if he disobeys his parents, he still gets the belt from his dad?
He might.
I
He
mean,
gets a spatula.
it's spatula.
a fried egg on the end of it.
Yeah.
Fried egg.
Fried egg, it cracks. The yolk seeps down. He goes, that tickles.
Yolk seeped down the crack of his butt.
Yeah. It just percolates. It percolates and it starts. He's like, now I gotta go poo poo.
It's I was just gonna say it's that word that we discussed that should probably be
Seeps.
taken
Seeps
off
right
of
over his
21.
moles.
Seeps
And
right over his
abs.
seeps right over his moist moles.
Seeps and
Moist
salads. God.
And then you just hear it. And then the world is sucked up through his anus.
This podcast literally went from G to rated.
That's how that shit happens. That's how it happens. That's how it happens. Well, I'm just saying, you know, you're not that fucking big time of a dude because you just give out these cases. You know, I'm fighting for the rights of these people to see these locations. Like, you realize like the proper people are like one of probably the most fucking kick-ass people out there doing this thing, and they got 1.1 million out of 360 some fucking million people in the United States.
That's and,
Yeah,
You
that's
ain't
insane.
fucking shit.
and that's a lot. 1.1 million for Urbex. That's a lot.
That's
of
a
people.
lot of
It is.
fucking people. And
lot.
that's not a knock. I'm just saying, like, you as this dude
Yeah.
in Buffalo, fucking New York, jerking off in your mom's basement still. Like, you're nothing. You know, like, don't think of yourself as, put yourself on that pedestal. I mean, I'm a very humble person. I don't put myself like, you know, I'm fucking better than all these fucking people. All the, you know,
Yeah.
some things you can. I mean, don't knock yourself of stuff, you know, like, if you're like, yeah, I'm a great fucking photographer. Nobody's gonna tell me I'm not. Like, that's good to have, but don't.
There's this
Yourself.
one chick. I even told you about her from Flint.
Oh yeah.
And then she's always
She never
messaging us.
stopped.
She's
She
like,
didn't stop either.
she's like, did you ever go to like this place and this place? I'm like, yeah. And then she sends like 20 pictures like in a row, and they're just like the dustiest, nastiest looking things. And I'm just like, oh, that's so great. And then she's like,
Nokia
yeah.
photos.
And then she's like, yeah, I'll give you guys all these locations, and then in your videos in your next book, you can give credit to us like always.
Like
And I
always.
was like, oh, I'll totally do that. So then they asked me if I wanted to come out to Flint to explore.
He
And so I
came
pulled
out,
the
right?
Bill Finan card, and I was like, I don't think my parents will let me hang out with dirty people. And then she's like, all right, well, let me know if you do. And I was like, well, I kind of told them where I was going to go. And they told me they were going to be there. I was like, what if I contacted the Flint police at like 2 o'clock and was like, you got some hooligans going in this place. You might want to catch them.
Damn.
But that would have been cold. So,
Very cold.
so yeah, she just messaged me and was like, why can't you get out? And then I was like,
What was her name?
I can't say that on here.
She called you out while we were at the gym though.
She did. She did.
Ooh.
So I tagged him in that we were getting our workout in, and then
Oh,
she's
I saw
like,
that.
so you could go work out, but you can't come here. And I'm like,
Oh, I seen that.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I know now.
She's
Yeah.
she's
Got a
like
thing for
calling
you.
Jimmy
That's
out.
for sure.
she's like
Sure.
a poorly drawn cartoon character. Like,
Was there an LOL on there, like a not so friendly LOL? Like there's
Yeah.
a LOL that you're like, yo, you're not laughing, bitch. You ain't laughing.
There's always
that
gotta you always
typing.
gotta lift the mood up a little bit when you're angry.
Yeah.
LOL. Be like, why are you yelling back at me? I LOL.
LOL'd you.
I hate you, but I LOL.
It's true.
Fuck you. LOL.
LOL.
It's okay. Fuck you too.
Yeah, and fuck you too. Yeah, for real.
You guys ever get in contact with like bigger channels, like maybe not like as big as the proper people, but otherwise?
You ever reached out to proper people? Come on,
I
be
have
honest.
twice actually.
Really? I
Yeah.
feel like they just get so many that it's like, you know.
He goes
Give him a
right out.
location.
He doesn't even wait for Ruin Road to answer. He's like, I have twice already.
I've always just been such a big fan of them, and honestly, if it wasn't for them, before I even started exploring places, like I watched them like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
I watched when they were
Yeah.
just starting out, and
It's
always
true.
got me an interest in it. So, but there was a location, I shared it with them. I gave them the coordinates, and they probably never.
Dude, that's how they get all their stuff.
And that's what he said, too.
That's
They
what
probably-
Josh does.
I don't like exploring with Josh. He's clickbaity because I found something
yeah.
out. So I.
Oh, is he the one that you found this
Yeah, so
information about? Okay.
I very
Spread
proud
it.
of my
Let's
ability
hear
to
it.
research, and he did some abandoned military thing, and it was like he didn't say where it was, but he made it seem like it's the United States, and all these people are trying to figure out what it was. And I ended up doing this research. You couldn't find it based under what he called it in his title,
Are you
but I
gonna
ended up
blab it?
finding out that it was some naval base in the Philippines and stuff like that. So I went on his thing and I was like, if anybody wants to know where this is at, I said, this is a naval base, and he lied and all this, yeah. But
That's him and Seth Lawless both.
Yeah.
They do that. They'll change. Like there was the trolley graveyard in Pennsylvania. I'm sure you've seen photos of that. It's like one of the iconic spots. Yeah.
it's in the woods and stuff.
Yeah, it was.
Yup,
I think
yup,
Seth
yup.
made a post
Beautiful.
about how it was like some murder place, and he made some story up, and everyone was like, "Yeah, no, we know where that is."
So I hate that
Damn,
clickbaity stuff. It's
I
like if you're going to an
fucking do
abandoned
too.
hotel, just say it.
Yeah.
Oh, abandoned hotel where Frank Sinatra cheated on his wife or something crazy. Like, I don't know. Like,
See, but I've always been told too, you don't want to keep your titles too long either. And just
Right.
have-
Right.
I
That's-
mean, you
it's
want
kinda-
the
you gotta have
key- the key things, like three separate key things about what you're doing in that video.
if you find something
So-
interesting that like
But-
the main part, then yeah, it's cool. But don't lie.
That's what
Right.
I always try to do. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, you got to make clickbait title, but I'm like, I don't want it to be a lie. Like, if it's
Attention getter, kind of like when you write an essay, they always tell you to make that first sentence really pop out
Yeah.
and grab people's attention. And that's
Exactly.
Kinda what you want to do is
Right. And a lot of like proper people's early videos too, they're like their thumbnails, they would have like a big fat Urbex in the corner. I don't know if you noticed that, but
yeah, yep.
it just white, just Urbex.
Yep.
Bam.
And they're older videos, like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, and I was going through when I made our little preview to what we have coming out. I had like something that stated urban exploring in there, and then my wife was like, "Isn't that kind of corny?" Just to kind of say urban exploring. I'm like,
I'll put
I'm
those
like-
titles, but and I'm like, they're
but it's like I was saying, like, are you ready to urban explore? And I'm like, yeah, it sounds corny to me. It does, but to the target audience of
Yeah.
who
it's
we're
got to
targeting,
capture their attention.
that's what they know. They know
Because you're
urban
fighting against people
exploring.
that have that. So it's like, oh, I see two things. I see one that's like Urbex, and I just see one that maybe is Urbex. I'm just
Right.
gonna click on that.
What do you guys prefer? Do you like the term urbex or urban explorer? If someone asks you what you do,
I would say I'm an urban explorer.
right.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say Urbex just because it's shorter. It's easier.
I mean,
Well,
Balls
yeah,
in
like
it.
if you're
Urbex
just, but like if
is-
somebody was
then
like,
you're
Urbex,
you know,
yeah.
if somebody
Yeah.
was like, hey, I see,
what is that?
what's your hobby?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in urban exploration, and then. But if if I'm talking to you guys, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go Urbex or something.
You can go
I've had a few
Urbex.
people be like, "What's that?" I'm like,
Right.
urban explorer.
Yeah, it's
A lot of times I'll just say explorers, like this latest explorer.
I do illegal
Right.
shit
I'll
all
say
day.
that,
That's
you
what
know.
I do.
That's what I do, man.
Fuck shit up.
I've just fucked shit up, man. Yeah, I don't
Step
know.
on nails all the time.
It's hard when you're trying to create content, though, too.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to create content, so you have to market it and steer it. You're not really steering it so much to the person that goes out and does this all the time. You're trying to steer it to that person that would love to do it, but they just not going
yeah,
to.
they can't.
They're
They-
like,
they're
oh, I'd
too
love
scared
to see how
yeah.
that's your audience that you want. And they're the ones that, urban exploring, they see that. Are you ready to urban explore? I'm like, yes, I'm ready. Show me that fucking video. Because I'm not actually going to go.
Right. The worst ones. Have you ever seen the ones where people they'll like put a
You can
glow
go, dude.
around themselves?
Don't worry about it. You can just pick up the camera or
Like when they do, like they have a glow around them. They like put a stroke. Like, have you ever seen those thumbnails where it's them? Like if it's like abandoned whatever, and it's just a picture of them like
Yeah,
I will never do that, and I'll never put emojis in my things. I'm sure 20 years from now, if I'm still doing this, I'm probably doing that. So, but at this point in my life, when I still have some integrity,
I know, right?
I won't do that. I'm like, that's dumb as shit.
It's so
Abandoned
dumb.
hospital, heart.
Right.
Yeah,
And,
dude,
always the emoji.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's point with Josh. Is always like,
Yeah. Those are the worst.
that's so cringy. Like,
But
you
that's
make
how he
good
gets
videos.
millions of middle school viewers.
That's
And
why
so
I'd
the
rather
joke's
watch like
on us,
Anton
too.
Daniels. You guys watch Anton
I
Daniels?
whatever happened to that guy? He did a lot
What
of stuff.
happened?
He was the Detroit. Like anytime
Detroit.
Just like if you look, you look up a video for a Detroit place, it's always got Anton Daniels standing in it is his thumbnail.
Yeah, he's just
doing-
standing next to
Right,
it.
it-
And he
that
would
one-
like show you the way in and stuff too. Like he didn't
Yeah,
care. Like,
I remember
he
people-
went
alone too. I thought
alone.
Yeah. I mean, because
I'd
he's
like to
probably a
think-
Detroit native, so it's
Yeah.
not for him.
Right.
He knows the lingo.
And he's a
like, where
big
you should
dude.
come from, where you shouldn't be
Right.
from, and all that.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of going with, at least with another person, just because you never
yeah.
know.
Yeah,
what's
even
gonna
at
happen.
most, just like if you get hurt, not even if
Right.
somebody's
Yeah.
going to attack you, you could get hurt.
No, yeah, getting hurt, falling, anywhere off anything.
He almost fell about 20 feet to the ground at that hospital.
Yeah, that hospital because it had all those missing parts in the floor,
Oh,
and then one of them I was like walking, and then I go whoa, and then had to go a little bit farther with that one.
I jumped off the shipping dock right onto a nail. And I didn't look at it until like a week
He
and a half
wouldn't
later.
look at it. I'm
I'm
like,
not
dude,
looking
look
it.
at it. He's like, no, I'm not looking.
If I'm
at
gonna
it.
die, I'm gonna die.
I was like, yeah. Well, if
Don't
you
know
wear
if I have my shot or
freaking,
not.
what do you guys? Would you guys wear sneakers or do you guys wear boots?
I try like if it's summer, I won't wear, but like we have like
Yeah.
a pair of work boots. I think about it's like any October on.
I just
You
got
won't
like
wear
those.
boots in the summer though, because summer
it's
does
just
not
too
change.
hot, though. Yeah,
Summer
it's
does
too
not
hot.
fucking change the state of the building.
Oh, that's true.
I'm here to
It's just-
fucking
because it's
tell
too
you.
hot, man.
dude.
It's too hot, and you're tired, bro.
We don't all have nice smelling feet. okay,
Yeah, but
Kyle?
you know what's
bro.
like the worst like
I'm
feeling
wearing
in the
boots.
world is wet socks. If you go in, you get wet socks, and you're not gonna feel good for the rest of the day. You don't want to go explore.
Yeah.
You feel dirty.
You don't want to go and exploring because you feel dirty.
Oh,
You know what I
gotta
mean?
save the grimiest places.
that
for
not a
last.
fucking-
You gotta
oxymoron?
save. Yeah. Well,
You're
then
going urban exploring. You're gonna get fucking dirty, man. Shit.
crawling on the ground through mud.
You
but
were
don't
just
wanna get
talking
your
about
socks-
I don't want my socks all wet and dirty. They're gonna be stinky on the way home.
Well, sometimes it's a necessary evil, but if you could avoid it, you definitely.
Yeah, that's
well,
the
yeah,
thing.
you definitely want to
I
avoid
mean,
it.
the
Yeah, so
shower
wearing-
after Urbex is
Yeah,
always the
that's
best
sneakers,
part.
that's
that's
not
the
gonna
best
happen.
part.
Wearing sneakers is not going to solve that problem.
Well, another thing,
Exactly.
and like too, it depends on what you run into and you explore. Like one of the last places that we hit was in Detroit, and it was like the only way in was through this window, and you had to climb up on something. Well, right in front of the window was a human shit, like on the ground, and right over that was like this like chintzy little milk. Right over it was this like chintzy little milk crate, and it's basically like
Oh no!
just go if you dare. Yeah, there's like a little
Yeah,
crate
it
right over
was,
it, like they had
yeah.
to catch it.
Oh man!
And then like we had to climb it. And we're like, dude, do you think this thing's gonna like catch our weight? Like we'll be okay. We're not gonna fall into dookie, you know? And then
I was,
luckily
I
it
was
did.
like, I'll go first. So if I can make it, all you guys
Right.
can. So
Take it for the team.
right.
the
And
nice
so I
thing was
all right.
Derek's car.
Exactly. It wasn't my car too. It was my car. I might have been like, let's hold on.
Oh
But-
man!
That's the thing that sucks about it too, because I'm like really like clean about that. I don't like mud and stuff on
Right.
like my floor mats and my cars. So it's
Yeah.
like, man, if we're going somewhere, I'm not driving if it's dirty there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Vacuum my car.
Shit, man. Well, we definitely should be having lots more places to explore in the future.
And
I'm
we got to
sure.
definitely
yeah.
explore one, all four of us together too.
Yeah, we got to get that going. We got to get that planned.
Yeah.
Got to get it in motion.
Do you guys want to? What do you want to do? You want to do like in state or out of state? Like, what are you leaning towards for the year? Like, what's like your big? Like, what would you say your goals for exploring are this year?
Well, I
We
say
haven't gone through our goals yet as a
Yeah.
team, but I'm sure we got personal goals to attain.
I have
Yeah.
an excessive amount of locations, large locations out of state that would be very primed to hit with multiple people.
And we're going
Yeah.
through
Better
like
idea.
trying to plan. We're trying to like come up with more of a plan of action now instead of just, hey, let's do it this day. So we're trying to like plan out explore days, plan out like scout days for like, you know, photography, plan out
Yep.
stuff
Yeah, like
that
you were saying, it's really nice to be able to just go out with your camera and take photos. And I think that is when I've taken some of the best photos so far. It's just when I'm focused on that.
right.
So it's nice to be able to do that too.
For sure. And then there's times, and that's why it's nice to have two people recording, because there's times where Eric will be like, all right, I'm going to just focus on pictures now. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
You know, I'll just keep on recording, and we'll just use for this section, we'll just use my film. It doesn't matter because we both got good cameras. So it's not like, you know, we got one walking around with just like a fucking 720p cell phone camera. You know what I mean? So that's nice to be able to, just focus on your one thing
Yep.
that they have to do, and have it planned out. So you got to plan action for the year. You know, like this is when we're gonna hit this. And
Yep.
so that's like kind of like our New Year's leaf, I guess. So far is let's plan some stuff out and start knocking off what we want to
Yeah.
accomplish. Yeah.
What's something that you guys have been wanting to hit, but you preferred to, you know, have a couple more people with you? And he hits the mic again.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. We'll edit them all together. It'll be funny. Does it hit you in the mouth every time?
No, because you keep pulling it that way. So I
Yeah.
was surprised that it just went right in that. Right that time.
He's gonna be talking him.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll just move it like this that time.
But yeah, is there like any specific locations that you guys have like really wanted to hit, but you're like, well, maybe we'll bring a couple people with us. It'd be a little bit easier, a little cheaper to get out there.
Well, that's not just tell
Yeah.
everybody.
That's a good point, though. That's a good point because we don't want to release our locations. But is there some out of state stuff, or is there some stuff in state that you've been interested in lately that you just kind of?
You guys are going to be taking a big trip
Tag
soon,
team.
right? We can't really talk about it. Can't delve
Yeah.
much into it, but
I feel like most of the stuff though,
That's
that
gotta
I
be
want to see
exciting.
nowadays is out of state. Well, that's because like
Yeah.
we've hit most of the big stuff here, so it's like all the stuff in it because there's so much out there. I'm just like, I want to go here, I want to go here, I want to go here. When can we get some time to go?
right.
But yeah, I don't think there's too much where we're like we need more people.
Yeah.
Well, what's your like work schedule like? Do you get a lot of vacation time to be able to?
Yeah, I have plenty of vacation time.
Same with
and
you.
I don't do anything with my
I get a
life,
lot of
so-
vacation time.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I got all these days there back. Let's go.
What do you do for a daytime job?
I work. I kind of do a few things. I work at a battery company up in Muskegon, so I do like their quality marketing, some IT stuff, and other
nice,
stuff
nice.
that
Yeah.
Nice.
been dumped on me.
Have you been working from home then during COVID?
Nope.
No, you've been in the
Nope,
office.
we have to be in the office because
Okay.
he don't want us home.
It's important.
Yeah, real important.
You're
Everybody
essential.
needs batteries.
How about
Yeah.
you, Jimmy?
We need batteries.
Yeah, so I've been doing well, as far as vacation goes, I don't really get a lot of time during the year. So I have to
Okay.
like kind of like pick and choose. But
They give you like unpaid though if you want to take a trip. Will they at least like work with you? Or?
well, I can get paid vacation. It's just with how busy stuff is usually. Like our business has really grown within the last like 3 years since I've been there. And
And what is it?
it's a laboratory, so we do a lot of like analyses on like water, soils, air, things like that. And so but yeah, like I don't know, like when I can get out, like it's golden. Usually it can't be like a whole week, so that's why I'm trying to see for like this big one if I can make that 5 days. I mean, am I gonna be screwing my team over? Or is like, can I just go and enjoy myself and
Just send it, dude.
just
gotta
send
send
it?
it.
More important
Yeah.
than Urbex.
It
That's
is.
Send
yeah.
it. You're already doing it.
Yep.
You're going through. So I mean, we're gonna.
I
Have
would
to,
I would be so disappointed if it was just like, nope, you can't go. I would be Bill Finan telling these guys.
Bill not finding.
Bill
Bill
not,
not
I'm
Finan.
Bill not Finan.
Yeah, we'll have to
Yeah.
have you guys back on after that. Trip
Yeah,
that you guys,
yeah.
Yeah,
That'll be-
absolutely, 100%.
you know, talk about it, everything that you guys seen, and I'm excited. I'm excited to. Hopefully, we get some inside, pictures, maybe
Oh,
via
yeah.
Messenger with, a couple of you
No.
guys together. Like, look at where we're at. Oh,
Actually,
I'm gonna be all jelly.
Speaking of hitting locations together, I was just in touch with somebody, and I told you that about that school you're talking about. I'd say
Yeah.
that would be an interesting place if we all
Yeah.
had to check that one out together. I don't know if.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know.
Jimmy
what
Well,
you're
well,
talking about.
that's-
Like, he had scouted it for a while, and then I.
That's above my level because you have
Boy.
all that pigeon shit in
the
there.
guy that,
So I'm gonna wait outside.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk about that after this.
Yeah, but
we
that
can
would
wrap
be
this
fun.
up. I mean, we've been going for a couple hours
2.5.
now. So I
Dang.
mean, you know, yeah, that was a nice talk. We'll have you guys back on after the big explorer we can't talk about, and we'll talk about it. And
Yep.
everybody.
The big
we'll-
explorer we
we'll
can't talk
share
about.
We'll share some more stuff. We'll have our new setup that we had going on here.
Explorer coming up.
Big explorer. But everybody go check out Ruin Road here, Rich. I'm gonna put the sticker on the camera again. Everybody go check out Ruin Road. Go to their Facebook, YouTube, check out their videos. Instagram, got that on lock, right?
Yep.
Yep.
It's all Jimmy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all Jimmy.
Has to be. It's the Heart in the Blender Instagram.
It's the
Yeah,
heart in the
yeah, you
blender.
know.
There you go. Well, it was cool, guys. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys.
Oh, look at that. All right, now we can smoke pot again.
There you go.